Chapter 553. The eldest young master of Tiffany & Company had already boarded the plane. He would arrive in Jianchuan in 10 hours. So, Gu Xiling called Hu Ran's stepmother when no one was around. He will arrive tonight. How are your preparations? Hu Ran's stepmother did not know that her friend had been targeted by the police. She said, I will call him later. I will lure Hu Ran out tonight. Don't worry. Then I will wait for your confirmation, said Gu Xiling. After the call, Gu Xiling looked around to make sure that no one in the Sheng family saw her. Then she went back to the living room. However, Hu Ran, who was in the room, had seen her sneaky behavior clearly. Because the location of the new house was facing the Sheng family's lawn. Although Hu Ran did not know what Gu Xiling was planning, she reminded Sheng Bowen. I saw second sister-in-law making a phone call in the lawn. You must be careful when you pick up the eldest young master of the Tiffany & Company today. I am afraid that this woman will do something bad again. Don't worry, Xiaoran. Actually, the eldest young master of the Tiffany & Company has arrived in Jianchuan. He boarded the plane yesterday, said Sheng Bowen. Why didn't you tell me earlier? I was worried too. You don't know either. That's why they did not notice anything. Sheng Bowen explained. Xiaoran, you won't blame me, right? Why should I blame you? You did a good job. She had thought that Sheng Bowen was a straightforward person who did not know how to beat around the bush. In fact, he knew how to be flexible at times like this. That was fine. Then, no matter what tricks Sheng Kai and his wife wanted to play, they would not be able to do anything. As for Hu Ran's stepmother, she immediately called her friend. Xiao Chui, can you spare some time to do something for me? Madam, I am running for my life now. What can I do? The police are looking for me everywhere. Don't call me anymore. After that, the other party hung up. Mrs. Hu frowned and looked at the phone. Suddenly she understood. Was it because of Xinqing's death? But if Xiao Chui was arrested, wouldn't the fact that she had hired assassins to kill people in the past be dug out? Thinking of this, Mrs. Hu suddenly panicked. No, she had to stop Chui from running away. However, when the police were looking for someone, they would not be as gentle as Hu Ran and Sheng Bowen. To find this cunning paparazzi, they did not need to go through such complicated steps. Since he was a major suspect, the police acted quickly. Even though the paparazzi knew how to disguise himself, they still caught him in the act. Mr. Chui, why are you hiding? Hurry up and come with us. No, Uncle Police, I didn't do anything wrong. Why are you looking for me? Why did you run if you didn't commit any crime? If you have anything to say, come back with us to the police station first. Therefore, within a few hours, the paparazzi was brought back to the police station. At this moment, the other suspect was being interrogated. She was Shen Qing's best friend, a designer. Last night, she received a call from Shen Qing and came over to chat with her. However, she received a call from her husband saying that their son had a fever, so she hurried back. The police had collected her fingerprints and DNA, but she was less suspicious than the paparazzi, because she was the first person to enter the villa and left 20 minutes later. There was a man who came in the middle of the night, and they were still verifying his identity. The last person was the paparazzi. If Shen Qing had died before this, why didn't the other two people call the police? Of course, there were still a lot of doubts in the case. They could not conclude who the murderer was yet. The designer cooperated with the investigation and soon left the police station. At this time, it was the paparazzi's turn. After entering the interrogation room, the paparazzi began to panic. Uncle Police, I know a lot of gossip in the entertainment industry. Do you want me to tell you? Don't talk nonsense. Just tell me, why did you go to Shen Qing's house between 1 and 3 o'clock in the morning yesterday? Officer, in our line of work, we have to abide by our professional ethics. We can't disclose the privacy of our guests. You probably don't know the seriousness of this matter. Shen Qing died between 1 and 3 o'clock in the morning last night. During this time, you were the last person she saw. You could say that she died after you left. Are you still not going to tell us the truth? This is a human life. Are you sure you can bear the responsibility? When the paparazzi heard this, he panicked and said, Officer, I know that in your line of work, you hide all day long just to dig into the private lives of celebrities and then scam them. These are all ill-gotten gains. You know very well that. Even if you don't tell us, we can still find out. It's just a matter of time. Think about it yourself. The paparazzi was so scared that he cried. Officer, I'm just a little paparazzi. I'll tell you. I'll tell you everything. This is what happened. Shen Qing and Huang Fu have always been competitors. I got news from Huang Fu that Shen Qing had an illicit relationship with a married man. So, she asked me to keep an eye on Shen Qing. Last night, I was outside Shen Qing's villa. At about 1:30, I saw Shen Qing's best friend go to the villa and came out not long after. At about 2 o'clock, a man wearing a black hat also went to the villa at Dolphin Bay. I took a lot of photos, but after 20 minutes, the man also left. I saw the door of the villa open, so I went in with the photos. I wanted to discuss some business with Shen Qing. Then, I saw Shen Qing sitting on the sofa drinking. She ignored me. I told her that I took photos of the man, but she arrogantly asked me to release the photos. I thought that since she was not afraid of threats, I couldn't stay there any longer. So I turned around and left. That's the whole story, officer. Outside the interrogation room, several people were watching the whole process. However, no one believed the paparazzi's words. This man is like a stinky rat in the entertainment industry. Everyone wants to beat him up. And the dirty things he does behind the scenes are unimaginable. Not only that, because of his profession, he is cunning by nature. If we want to get information from him, we need to use some tricks. Muchichi also said. He thinks that he is experienced and knowledgeable. He can even survive in the dirty entertainment industry, let alone deal with the police. Based on what he said just now, I only believe one thing. That is, he was squatting outside Shen Qing's villa. Since he said that he was taking photos of Shen Qing, he must be able to get the photos and videos of the man in the hat. Chapter 554. Since the paparazzi was arrested and sent to the police station, Hu Ran's stepmother's matter could not be carried out. Of course, her cooperation with Gu Xiling would not be counted. However, Gu Xiling waited for Hu Ran at home, but Hu Ran did not leave. Why was Hu Ran still at home when the person in charge of Tiffany and Company was about to arrive? Gu Xiling could not help but call Hu Ran's stepmother. But no one answered Mrs. Hu's call. Bastard. Liar. She had promised to teach Hu Ran a lesson. But what happened? Hu Ran was still sitting here drinking tea as if nothing had happened. Gu Xiling did not know how scared and guilty Mrs. Hu was now. To make sure that the paparazzi was not lying, she even drove to the police station. But her car was seen by her colleagues. Since it was a luxury car, she had to let Muchichi identify it. Muchichi was surprised when she saw it. Because she had gone to the Hu family with Sheng Xiao and met Mrs. Hu before, she could confirm her identity. But she did not know why this woman was here. Do you know her? She is the stepmother of someone I know. She used to be in the entertainment industry. But she married into a rich family and retired from the industry. Muchichi explained to the captain. But I don't think it is a coincidence that she is here. She must be here because of the paparazzi. When the captain heard this, he immediately laughed. How many people's secrets are hidden in this scumbag's mouth? How can those people not be scared? Muchichi understood this too. So she called Sheng Bowen. Third brother, Xiaoqi? What's the matter? Sheng Bowen was having dinner with the eldest young master of Tiffany and Company at the moment. I saw Mrs. Hu at the police station today. You should know that the police station arrested a paparazzi because of Shen Qing's case. I guess Mrs. Hu must be here because of this paparazzi. After all, it is related to third sister-in-law. So, I called you to ask you to pay attention to Mrs. Hu. I am afraid that she is hiding some secrets and will implicate the Hu family. Sheng Bowen was excited when he heard Muchichi. Is his surname Chui? Yes. Chichi, how about this? I will ask Xiao Ran to call you and talk to you about this. You can help her. Although Muchichi did not know what it was, she still agreed. Okay. A few minutes later, Hu Ran called. Chichi, I heard from your third brother that the police station has arrested the paparazzi. You might not know how long your third brother, and I have been looking for him. Speak slowly. Do you know that I got into a car accident 2 years ago? The murderer was hired by my stepmother. And the person who knows about this is the paparazzi with the surname Chui. Hu Ran explained concisely. Chi-Chi, can you help me? No wonder your stepmother wants to come to the police station. Mu Chi-Chi suddenly understood what Mrs. Hu was worried about. Third sister-in-law. We are investigating Xinqing's case now. And this paparazzi surnamed Chui is very difficult to pry open his mouth. Let me tell the team about this first. If I can help you, I will try my best. But after all, this is not a case. Everything has to follow the procedures. Do you understand what I mean? I understand. Anyway, thank you. Hu Ran was very excited. But she also knew that Mu Chi-Chi was in a difficult position. After all, this had nothing to do with Xinqing. Mu Chi-Chi hung up the phone and looked at the black sports car outside the door. Then, she turned around and told the captain about the background of the paparazzi. This person is the second wife of Boss Hu, a real estate developer in this city. She used to be a celebrity. I called her just now to find out why she came here. 2 years ago, she hired someone to kill her stepdaughter. And this paparazzi surnamed Chui is the insider. She is afraid that the paparazzi will say something that he should not say. As long as the paparazzi is willing to confess, I will settle this case together, said the captain of the criminal investigation team. Captain, thank you. It is our duty to get rid of the evils for the people. After that, Mu Chi-Chi returned to the forensics laboratory. The professor had already dissected Xinqing's body. Her internal organs are all ruptured. Of course she would vomit so much blood. We have found the cause of death. She must have suffered a serious blow or impact before she died. The skin damage is not obvious, and the boundary of the bleeding is not clear. Although it is in the shape of a strip, there is only one line. We can't be sure if it was caused by a round wooden stick. The main thing is that it looks light on the outside, but heavy on the inside. The murderer is very good at using force. Does that mean that this person knows a certain level of self-defense? Or maybe he has practiced something related to fighting or martial arts? Mu Chi-Chi guessed. We can't rule out this possibility. Now we still can't confirm the identity of the second man. The paparazzi are all dishonest. We can't find any traces in Xinqing's house either. This case seems to be quite tricky. Feng Shanshan could not help but sigh. I really don't know what kind of torture she suffered before she died. On the other hand, Hu Ran told her father about her stepmother going to the police station. She also mentioned the car accident that happened 2 years ago. When Papa Hu saw the photo, he became more suspicious of his wife. Xiao Ran, I know. I'll be careful. Dad, I can't find any evidence. But the heavens are fair. I just hope that I won't hurt you by doing this. If she really treated my daughter like that 2 years ago, I won't tolerate her. Papa Hu said firmly. At this time, his wife opened the door and entered the living room. She looked very tired. Where did she go? I haven't seen her all day. Papa Hu deliberately asked his wife. Drinking tea with a friend. Mrs. Hu must not have thought that Mu Chi-Chi was such a meticulous person. Did she not think that she would be discovered by Mu Chi-Chi? Papa Hu did not say anything. He only said, rest early. Don't mess around. Old Hu, it's been so long. Why is there no movement in my stomach? That was because Papa Hu went to the hospital for a vasectomy. Although he wanted a son, he could not let this woman give birth. We're not young anymore. It's not that easy to give birth. It's not the right time yet, Papa Hu explained. I just want to give you a son as soon as possible. Papa Hu turned around and shuddered. If he really let this woman get pregnant and give birth to a son, what would happen to the Hu family? He could only wait for Mu Chi-Chi's results. If she could find evidence, he did not want to tolerate this woman anymore. A woman's heart was the most vicious. Chapter 555. In the end, Gu Xiling waited at home for the news for the whole day. But Mrs. Hu ignored her. She said that she would help. But now she doesn't even answer the phone. Damn that old woman. Hu Ran heard this from behind Gu Xiling. She could not help asking, which old woman? Gu Xiling turned around and saw Hu Ran. She glared at her. Do you have a good upbringing? How could you eavesdrop on others? Since you said that I have no upbringing, I will show you that. Hu Ran snatched the phone from Gu Xiling's hand. She wanted to verify a guess. She looked at Gu Xiling's call history and saw the number that Gu Xiling had dialed the most. Then she took out her phone and compared it. Hu Ran, So, you are waiting for my stepmother's call. Hu Ran laughed. I was wondering how you knew that I was allergic to honey. So you are in cahoots with that woman? But you probably don't know. She can't even protect herself now. The paparazzi has been arrested. They know too many of her secrets. She is at the police station now. How can she have the time to talk to you? As for the tricks in your heart, if you don't say it, and I don't say it, we both know it. But, I can tell you very seriously that you will not succeed. Then, Hu ran through the phone back to Gu Xiling. And I really want to give you a piece of advice. Those who do evil will bring about their own destruction. Gu Xiling was stunned when she heard Hu Ran's words. No wonder she could not contact that woman until now. It turned out that she could not even protect herself now. In that case, there was no hope that she could help. It seemed that she had to think of a way herself. But she did not know that the eldest young master of the Tiffany family had already discussed this matter with Sheng Bowen. Of course, he would choose to take over Tiffany and Company. After all, it was his family business. Although he had a disappointing younger brother, he could not lose his roots. As for the cooperation with Huang Yao, he agreed to continue and use his own money to fill the gap. But he did not accept the withdrawal of his investment. He also had a condition. Sheng Bowen must be the CEO of Huang Yao. However, Sheng Bowen had not told anyone about it yet. When Sheng Bowen returned home at night, Grandpa Sheng was surprised that he could come home on time for dinner. He asked him, "Aren't you going to welcome the person in charge of Tiffany and Company?" "Grandpa, he has already left. Actually, he arrived in the morning. After we talked, we had lunch together. I sent him off just now. I'll send the letter of intent to you later." Sheng Bowen replied to Grandpa Sheng. Grandpa Sheng looked at Sheng Bowen in shock. He could guess what he was worried about, so he nodded. "Good. You did a good job. I'm just taking precautions." After all, Gu Xiling had colluded with the Hu family to make trouble. But unfortunately, Mrs. Hu was busy with her own affairs. Charney has some conditions. After you read them, discuss them with the board of directors. If they agree, we'll do it this way. No matter what the conditions are. As long as we can continue working together, I can accept them. As long as Huang Yao did not suffer any losses, Sheng Kai's position was still empty. He had locked himself in the study for the past 2 days, and refused to see anyone, because he couldn't accept that Sheng Bowen was going to replace him. "Grandpa, I want to meet with 8th brother tonight." In the past, when he wanted to meet with 8th brother, Grandpa Sheng would be on guard. But now Sheng Bowen took the initiative to bring it up. He wanted to let Grandpa Sheng untie the knot in his heart. "Go. It's not about Huang Yao. It's about Xiaoran. I'll tell you personally when there's a result." Grandpa Sheng nodded and patted Sheng Bowen's shoulder. "I didn't expect you to be so calm and steady. Not bad." Seeing that Grandpa Sheng had changed, Hu Ran finally felt that he was easier to get along with. But now that there were 2 malignant tumors in the family, she began to worry about Grandpa Sheng's safety. After all, Gu Xiling was someone who could even collude with her stepmother. But now, they would not dare to do anything to Grandpa Sheng. At 9 o'clock at night, 2 cars stopped at the entrance of the Criminal Police Bureau. When the police officers saw them, they said to Mu Chichi, "Xiao Qi, your family is here." Mu Chichi looked out of the door and smiled. "Thank you, Senior." "Chichi, since there are no clues now, you and Shanshan should go back first," the professor said to Mu Chichi and Feng Shanshan. "I won't go back. I don't have a family to send me back." Feng Shanshan took a magnifying glass and observed the body of the deceased, including her clothes. Tang Yan. Seeing that the professor was going to ask Tang Yan to send her home, Feng Shanshan quickly said to him, "Professor, I'll go home myself. I don't want to trouble anyone." "Sigh. Tang Yan is not a monster. Look at how popular he is." Feng Shanshan was about to mock him, but she seemed to have found something unexpected. "Professor, I found something." When Shen Qing died, she was wearing silk pajamas, a robe, and a suspender. But when her body was found, her clothes were intact, so they paid more attention to the robe. But now Feng Shanshan found something that looked like fingerprints on the suspender. Let's do a comparison immediately. At this time, Mu Chichi had already walked out of the police station. When she saw Sheng Bowen and Hu Ran, she said to them, Are you here for the paparazzi? Get in the car first, Sheng Xiao said to her. Mu Qiqi nodded and sat beside Sheng Xiao. At this time, she heard Sheng Xiao say, "Do you think that everyone is like me and can stand the smell on your body?" Mu Qiqi sniffed herself and said, "The body hasn't started to stink. I should smell good. Go back and change your clothes first." "I know, my dear husband," Mu Qiqi said quickly. Mu Qiqi quickly said, "I didn't expect second sister-in-law to be involved in this incident. I didn't expect her stepmother to be so ruthless. That's right. Any progress?" Mu Qiqi hugged Sheng Xiao's neck and leaned into his arms. "No. You know the paparazzi's character. He is cunning and knows how to adapt to the situation. He is good at lying." Sheng Xiao hugged her tightly and seriously. "You're on TV again today. You even brought up Zhongting. Are you unhappy?" "No. I like it when you bully others," Sheng Xiao replied. "When I picked you up just now, I found that there were a lot of reporters around. I have asked Su Che to find some people to deal with the media. If you need them, just bring them over." Chapter 556. Mu Qiqi went home, took a shower and changed her clothes. Then, she regained her energy and went out again. But in the meantime, she received a call from Feng Shanshan. She confirmed that the paparazzi's fingerprints were on Shen Qing's pajamas. And it was on the back. That meant it was very likely that the paparazzi pushed Shen Qing down the stairs. With such a clue, the police wanted to interrogate the paparazzi again. When they reached the hotel, Mu Qiqi apologized to Sheng Bowen and third brother. "I'm sorry. It took me some time to take a shower and change my clothes. I'm afraid it will affect your appetite." "It's okay," said Sheng Bowen. "If eighth brother can get used to it, so can we." Sheng Xiao sat next to Mu Qiqi. His right arm was naturally placed on the back of Mu Qiqi's chair. It was a protective posture. "Everyone in Jianchuan knows that Xiao Qi is your wife. Do you still want to do this?" Sheng Bowen complained. "Didn't you call me in the middle of the night and ask me some questions? Have you solved it?" Sheng Xiao did not want to be outdone. Third brother coughed violently. His face turned red from ear to ear. "What is it?" Mu Qiqi quickly asked. "It's nothing. It's just a private conversation between men." Sheng Bowen quickly interrupted and changed the topic. "Aren't you going to talk about the paparazzi? Let's get to the point." Because there was no evidence before, the paparazzi could say whatever he wanted. He was fearless, and he wouldn't say anything else. However, my friend just called me and told me that there was progress in this case. As for what the progress is, I can't tell you. However, I told the captain about third sister-in-law's matter. The captain said that if he could get the paparazzi to talk, he would investigate this case as well. Are you confident? Sheng Bowen seemed to be more nervous than who ran. Mu Qiqi shook her head. There is no evidence after all. It's okay, Xiaoqi. My father is very suspicious of that woman now. This can guarantee that what I'm worried about will not happen. She was afraid that the woman would have her father's child. She would not be able to separate from her father. Don't worry. Trust the police. Sheng Bowen laughed when he heard Mu Qiqi's words. He looked at her from head to toe. Your tone is more and more like those policemen on TV. I'm telling the truth. Mu Qiqi glared at him. Professional things should be left to the professionals. Speaking of which, how are things going in Huangyao? That's right. I have already discussed with the people from Tiffany and Company, and this matter can be resolved smoothly. However, they have a condition. I must be the CEO of Huangyao. Isn't that perfect? Mu Qiqi turned to look at Sheng Xiao. But I'm guessing second brother won't let it go so easily. He doesn't know about this yet, does he? If he knew, he would flip the heavens. But we'll know tomorrow. So you've completely dragged Sheng Kai down. Based on second brother's temper, he will definitely stab them in the back. Don't forget, there's still Gu Xiling by his side. That woman isn't just your average kind of evil. Previously, Xiao Ren almost lost her life because of honey. She was the one who colluded with her stepmother. You actually let her walk in front of you. Mu Qiqi rolled her eyes. I thought the bankruptcy of the Gus would be her end. She still wants to continue stirring up trouble. Xiaoqi, no matter what, I have to thank you for what you did this time. Otherwise, third brother and I would have to put in a lot of effort and be schemed against. Hu Ran said and toasted Muqiqi. I hope this matter will end well. Muqiqi was smiling happily, but Sheng Xiao couldn't. Why are you pulling a long face? Your teachers have been calling me all day today. What do you think? Sheng Xiao asked her. He had clearly told Muqiqi to go to class today and practice self-defense. But she had been staying in the branch office all day and refused to answer all the calls from strangers. All my efforts are wasted. I swear, I really forgot, Muqiqi quickly explained. I will remember next time. Do you still have credibility with me? Muqiqi immediately stopped talking. She looked at Sheng Bowen, and Hu Ran helplessly. Sheng Bowen smiled. I can't save you. I can't beat eighth brother's IQ. Why are you still smiling? Sheng Zhao's gaze swept across the two of them. Have you done your business? Sheng Bowen choked, and could only pretend to be mute. This person was really unforgiving with his words. Grandpa agreed to let me come out to see you today. I think he has slowly thought it through. After hearing Sheng Bowen's words, Sheng Xiao suddenly thought of the document that Grandpa Sheng gave him. It was not that Grandpa Sheng had thought it through, but he had recognized some facts. Because third brother and Hu Ran were not there, the Sheng family was not very lively. Perhaps because he knew that third brother was not at home, Sheng Kai finally walked out of the study to eat. However, his untidy appearance was really surprising. After the meal, Grandpa Sheng got up from the dining table. Second brother, come to my study. Sheng Bowen snorted coldly. He put down his bowl and chopsticks and followed behind Grandpa Sheng. As soon as he entered the study, Grandpa Sheng asked him sternly, Look at yourself. What a scandal. Didn't you force me to be like this, Grandpa? Sheng Kai sneered while leaning on the bookshelf. Didn't you see that I don't have the support of the Gu family? So you turned your eyes to third brother? Grandpa Sheng took a deep breath. He suddenly felt that he could not communicate with Sheng Kai at all, because second brother's heart was filled with resentment. There will be a board meeting tomorrow. Third brother will replace you as the CEO. You two can exchange positions. Second brother, your current mentality is not suitable to be the CEO. Grandpa Sheng said to Sheng Kai seriously. Think about it. There's nothing to think about. I don't want to be the deputy CEO. I plan to sell my shares and leave the Sheng family. I believe that Grandpa will not stop a useless person like me. Second brother. Grandpa Sheng was shocked. I said that I will not let anyone leave the Sheng family. Then don't drag me down from the position of CEO. Sheng Kai was very agitated and his emotions exploded. I am either the crown prince of Huangyao, or I am nothing. Having said that, Sheng Kai wanted to leave the study. However, Grandpa Sheng was so angry that he collapsed in front of the desk and fainted again. Chapter 557. Late at night, third brother and Hu Ran came back from outside. You go back to your room first. I have something to tell Grandpa. Hu Ran nodded and let go of Sheng Bowen's hand. He smiled and walked to the door of Grandpa Sheng's study. He saw the light in the room, but Grandpa Sheng did not respond. Sheng Bowen went to Grandpa Sheng's bedroom. When he saw that there was no one there, he realized that something was wrong. He quickly knocked the door open and saw Grandpa Sheng lying on the ground. He quickly called for someone. Butler, call the ambulance. The Sheng family was alarmed again. They rushed to the hospital in the middle of the night. Third brother, when did Grandpa faint? Sixth brother could not help asking. Is he in danger? I don't know. I've just returned. Third brother answered. But he kept his scrutinizing gaze on Sheng Kai, because he heard from the butler that the only person Grandpa Sheng saw after dinner was Sheng Kai. I hope Grandpa is fine. Second brother. What did you say to Grandpa last night? Hearing Sheng Bowen's question, Sheng Kai looked at him coldly. Why? Are you suspecting that Grandpa's illness is because of me? The doctor said that Grandpa should not be agitated. You are the CEO of Huangyao now. Can you be so arrogant? The last person Grandpa saw was indeed me. But how would I know when and how he fainted? Sheng Kai asked in return. Can you brothers stop blaming each other at a time like this? Hu Ran could not help but ask. Third brother started it, didn't he? Besides, didn't you hate Grandpa before? Now that you know Grandpa is your help, you have changed your attitude? If your family members continue to quarrel, Please leave the hospital. The patient is in a severe coma now. We don't know when he will wake up. The doctor from the emergency department came out and said to the Sheng family, "What's the point of finding fault now? He is already like this." The two brothers stopped talking. The rest of the Sheng family also lowered their heads. "We did not send him to the hospital in time this time. Be prepared. We don't know if he will wake up." "Thank you, doctor. We were wrong." Sheng Bowen quickly corrected his attitude. "I hope you can help and save our grandpa. That's more like it." The doctor rolled his eyes and left. At this time, Sheng Bowen took out his phone and wanted to inform Sheng Xiao, although he did not know if eighth brother and Grandpa Sheng had reconciled. "What are you doing?" informed fourth sister and eighth brother. After hearing Sheng Bowen's words, Sheng Kai snatched his phone and smashed it. "You know that eighth brother is a thorn in Grandpa's heart. Do you want Grandpa to die? Grandpa will want to see eighth brother. Big brother isn't here, and I'm the boss. I won't allow it." Seeing the two of them quarreling again, the doctor finally chased them out, but the two of them were still quarreling in the hospital garden. "You're afraid that when eighth brother comes back, you won't have any hope, right?" Having said that, Sheng Bowen turned around and left. But that was when Hu Ran sent a message to Mu Chichi. Mu Chichi saw that Grandpa Sheng was in trouble. She did not want to hide it from Sheng Xiao, so she passed the phone to him. "Grandpa Sheng is in a coma again. I heard that it will be very difficult for him to wake up this time. Do you want to go and see him?" Sheng Xiao took the phone and put down the document. Although he did not say whether he would go or not, he contacted Su Che and asked him to find the best experts and authorities overnight. If something really happens to Grandpa Sheng, the Sheng family will really be in a state of disunity. Sheng Xiao did not say anything. He just patted Mu Chichi's shoulder. "Go to sleep." At the police station, the police were still interrogating the paparazzi. "You still don't want to confess. Did you kill Shenqing?" "No, officer. I've said it many times. I really didn't kill Shenqing. I wanted to threaten her and get some money, but she didn't agree to it. So I didn't force her and left the Dolphin Bay Villa early. So you and Shenqing did not even have any physical contact." The police continued to set him up. "No, I already said I did not. Then why are your fingerprints on Shenqing's body?" The police took the evidence and showed it to the paparazzi. "Do you know that all the evidence points to you? You are still wasting time here. Chui, let me be honest with you. Every second you waste here is extremely disadvantageous to you. Think about it yourself." The paparazzi was stunned when he saw that. His emotions changed a little, but it was not enough to make him break down completely. So the police continued to set him up. "Your dirty deeds are really one after another. It's fine if you don't admit to killing Shenqing, but tell me about the car accident that happened 2 years ago. Your good friend, Mrs. Hu, came to the police station today. In order to express our suspicion, we went to the police station to find out why she came. So it turns out that she was afraid that you would spill the beans. That case has nothing to do with me." The paparazzi quickly waved his hand. "Since the police have found out about it, they will definitely get to the bottom of it sooner or later. If you are willing to cooperate, this is also a chance for you to redeem yourself. If I tell you about it, will it reduce my crime? What do you think?" The police asked. "About that matter, the most I can do is not report it." The paparazzi quibbled. "After my friend married into the Hu family, she could not have a son because her stepdaughter was very against it. So, she found someone in the circle who did the work for her. Unfortunately, the stepdaughter was very lucky and did not die." "Who is the person who did the work?" "I can't tell you. I'm afraid of death. I can only say that he is very famous." "All right, now tell us how you got the fingerprints on Shenqing's body." The police led the paparazzi around and back to the original point. The paparazzi thought that he could divert the police's attention with another topic, but he did not expect that the police were really used to his little tricks. In the end, he could only confess. "Yes, I did push her, but I did not kill her, officer. Moreover, I did not mean it. At that time, Shenqing could still move, so I thought that she just fell down, so I did not call the police." "Didn't you say that you did not touch Shenqing? Now you push Shenqing? Which of your words is true and which is false? Moreover, Even if she could still move and was only injured, you could call the ambulance. Maybe her life could be saved. Have you thought about this? Chapter 558. Officer, it's not that serious. I really didn't want to kill her. It was just a mistake. The interrogating officer took the opportunity to pressure the paparazzi. Tell me everything you know. Feng Shanshan stayed in the autopsy room until late. She wanted to know how much the paparazzi could spit out. Unfortunately, the paparazzi only admitted that he pushed Shenqing. Of course, he also told her about the car accident and the name of the person. As for the man who appeared in Shenqing's house that night, the paparazzi only took a picture of him wearing a hat and lowering his head. He could not identify him at all. It's 1 a.m. We can't get a car anywhere now. Shall I ask Tang Yin to send you? The professor suggested. At this hour, it was dark and windy outside. Feng Shanshan was still afraid. So when Tang Yin entered the forensics lab, Feng Shanshan could only say politely, "Thank you, Officer Tang. I'm still riding a motorcycle today. If you are not used to it, I'm used to it." Feng Shanshan flattered him. Tang Yin did not say anything. He just passed the helmet to her. I really thought that you never ask for help. Feng Shanshan lowered her head and secretly rolled her eyes. If I had any other choice, I definitely wouldn't ask for help from you. Let's go. Feng Shanshan did not expect Tang Yin to lift her up with one hand and put her on the back seat. Then he stepped over the body of the car. This man was really strong. With him in front of her, it was like there was an indestructible wall. Feng Shanshan felt comfortable blocking the wind. Soon Tang Yin sent her downstairs. Feng Shanshan thanked him and quickly went upstairs. She did not expect her roommate to bring her boyfriend back. They were having a good time in the living room, so she quietly left. But she was afraid of the stairwell, so she quickly rushed downstairs and stopped Tang Yan's car. "Officer Tang, please take me in." Tang Yin glanced at her and then looked at the apartment. "What's wrong?" "My roommate and boyfriend are inside." Tang Yin glanced at her and then quietly approached her. "You are a single woman. Are you inviting me to my house? I trust and respect you as a police officer, okay? Or, you can lend me money, and I can stay in a hotel." Feng Shanshan was angry. "Get in the car." Tang Yin did not say much. "Don't let my uncle know tomorrow. Who wants others to know?" Feng Shanshan blushed. Why did she trust Tang Yin? Firstly, it was really because she believed that he was a police officer. Secondly, this man should not be interested in relationships, because he was a complete workaholic. As for the third reason, after so many fieldwork, whether it was a hotel or a bar, she would be worried about her safety. The car was fast, but it was also long enough. When Tang Yin drove Feng Shanshan to his house, she almost fell asleep. Somehow, she followed Tang Yin into his apartment, and the furnishings in his apartment were really in line with a single man's taste. It was totally an American industrial style. "Look at that big sandbag hanging in the hall. TSK. I'll sleep in the study. This is your activity area. But don't touch my things. The bedroom is upstairs. Help yourself." After that, Tang Yin entered his study. Feng Shanshan could not help but take a deep breath. In order not to bring trouble to others and herself, she simply washed up and lay down on the sofa next to the bed on the second floor. She knew that her body did not smell as good as it seemed. Because she was very tired, Feng Shanshan fell asleep very quickly. Tang Yin, who was in the study, was a little curious. Why was Feng Shanshan not moving? So when he went out, he saw that Feng Shanshan had curled up on the sofa and fallen asleep. He did not disturb her. "You have a bed, but you don't want to sleep. Do you dislike it?" It was precisely because of such an opportunity that Tang Yin could finally take a good look at Feng Shanshan when she was quiet. Her looks were top-notch, but her personality was not pleasing. Her mouth was also poisonous, and there was a sense of wickedness in her bones. Tang Yin felt that such a woman was not his type at all, so he looked at her for a while. Then out of politeness he looked away and went back to his study. Grandpa Sheng fell sick again. But the matter between Huang Yao and Tiffany and Company had to be resolved. Sheng Bowen returned to Huang Yao the next morning and attended the board meeting as scheduled. He took out Charney's contract. I met Charney yesterday and sent him off at night. We talked about the cooperation between Huang Yao and Tiffany and Company, and he agreed to restart it. But there are some conditions. You can take a look at it. One of the conditions is that he is willing to use money to fill the gap. It does not mean that we can withdraw our investment. Secondly, he hopes that our cooperation will be based on me being the CEO of Huang Yao. You can discuss this. When the shareholders saw the contract, they saw hope. Moreover, Grandpa Sheng had already decided to make Sheng Bowen the CEO and Sheng Kai the vice president. Now, it was reasonable for Tiffany and Company to make such a request. I have no objection. I believe that third young master will not let us down. But my grandfather is sick now. I will temporarily take over the role of the CEO. As for the rest, we can talk about it after he wakes up, said Sheng Bowen. What do you think? Everyone take a stand. We all agree. Sheng Bowen went to Huang Yao to deal with some matters. Naturally, Sheng Kai stayed in the ward. Before this, it was Sheng Kai who guarded against third brother and his wife. Now it was time for the tables to be turned. Seeing this, Gu Xiling pushed Hu Ran aside. Don't tell me that you are not worried that Grandpa's will fall into our hands. You and third brother pretended to be dignified before. What about now? You and your wife have become sick. Can't you feel it? Hu Ran said coldly. If you and third brother really don't care about the inheritance, then you shouldn't be so anxious now. Whether you believe it or not, third brother, and I hope that Grandpa will be safe. We also hope that you will not say such vicious words in front of Grandpa. He will not do as you wish. Gu Xiling laughed mockingly. Since her husband was there, she wanted to push Hu Ran out of the ward. It's better for us not to stay in the same space. Otherwise, we will be kicked out again. That will be a joke. Hu Ran was not as shameless as Gu Xiling. So she sat on the bench outside the ward. She did not believe that this couple would be so kind to take care of Grandpa Sheng. All they cared about was the inheritance that Grandpa Sheng was holding on to. Chapter 559. After a while, more people came to the ward. This time, the Shengs did not know the people who came, but they came with the doctor to transfer Grandpa Sheng to another hospital. When Sheng Kai heard that, he immediately stood up and asked, "Who are you?" "We are experts invited by Mr. Sheng Xiao. We want to do a further examination for Grandpa Sheng and formulate a treatment plan," answered the person. "Sheng Xiao." Sheng Kai sneered when he heard the name. "You used to anger Grandpa half to death. Now you are putting on an act." At this time, Sheng Bowen came back from Huang Yao and entered the ward. "What's going on?" The people eighth brother found may sound nice, saying that they are here to treat Grandpa. But we all know how serious eighth brother is. Isn't it obvious what he wants to do? Sheng Kai stopped the group of people. "We won't turn around. Eighth brother won't harm Grandpa. Of course you believe him. But I don't. I've seen through the tricks you and eighth brother are playing. You want to control Grandpa and the whole of Huang Yao, right? No way." Sheng Kai refused to budge. "Second young master, if you resist like this, you might delay the chairman's treatment." "Don't scare me with this," said Sheng Kai firmly. Sheng Kai said firmly, "I don't want those ambitious people to touch Grandpa, unless he comes to talk to me personally." Sheng Bowen rolled his eyes when he saw this. Just when he was about to speak, the door of the ward was pushed open again. The person who came said in a calm and powerful tone, "What do you want to talk about?" "Eighth brother." Sheng Bowen immediately looked at Sheng Xiao. When the doctors and nurses saw Sheng Xiao, they knew that the person in charge had come, because Sheng Xiao's aura was so strong that they could not ignore it. "Since you're really here, let's have a talk." With that, Sheng Kai stood up. "Everyone else get out." "Why don't you go out and talk?" Sheng Bowen asked. "Before that, I won't let you touch Grandpa." Sheng Bowen was speechless. "No one needs to go out," said Sheng Xiao bluntly. "If you have anything to say it here. I don't want to waste more time on you." "Waste?" Sheng Kai could not help but laugh sadly. "Eighth brother, you used to trust me. Otherwise, you wouldn't have handed Huang Yao to me. But why do you have to go against me in every way? You don't know the reason." Sheng Xiao walked into the ward and sat down on the sofa. "You're wrong. I didn't hand Huang Yao over to you. It's second brother who was killed by you. The second brother in the past wouldn't use all means to humiliate and guard against his brother, just because he was in power. But you would. You're afraid that someone will seize your power and take everything away from you. That's why you've become extremely selfish. How dare you talk about my trust? Once upon a time, you asked me if I regretted leaving behind Huang Yao in the future. Right now, I can tell you very seriously that I don't regret it at all, because your misfortune wasn't caused by me. You enjoy the glory of being the crown prince while blaming me for giving you so many problems. But if I don't leave, the position of crown prince will never belong to you. You, do you, Don, you, Huang, you. I know you are eloquent. I can't win against you. Sheng Kai wanted to talk at first. Now that Sheng Xiao was willing to talk to him, he wanted to escape. You are such a failure, Sheng Xiao said. You are not even as good as the receptionist of Zhongting. To put it bluntly, I look down on you. You are not even qualified to be my opponent. Third brother always gives in to you. I don't have the energy to do that. Do you really think that you can stop me? Sheng Xiao looked at Sheng Kai coldly. His tone was much sharper. He did not give Sheng Kai any face at all. You. And her. Sheng Xiao pointed at Gu Xiling. I don't want to see Grandpa Sheng in the hospital. If you want to use force, I'm ready. Eighth brother, you still like to bully others. That's because you are not capable. Sheng Xiao replied. You didn't listen to me when I tried to persuade you. You just want to do it the hard way. When Sheng Xiao's aura rose, everyone in the ward was afraid. Ever since he established Zhongting, he rarely acted like this. But today there was a special one. Sheng Xiao, Kai is your brother after all. I don't even recognize my ancestors. Sheng Xiao retorted sharply. You, Gu Xiling, have contributed a lot to Sheng Kai becoming like this. If you don't want your grandfather's business to be destroyed, from now on, you'd better avoid me whenever you see me. I'm disgusted by you. I'll give you 2-3 seconds to get out of my sight. Otherwise, I will show you the new Sheng Xiao. Everyone's heart skipped a beat at Sheng Xiao's words. Sheng Kai was stunned for 2 seconds. Then he walked out of Grandpa Sheng's ward. Of course, Gu Xiling did not dare to stay when her husband had left. Eighth brother is furious. It's so scary. Hu Ran quickly whispered into third brother's ear when she saw the two of them leaving. Of course. How do you think he managed the Sheng family all these years? Third brother said. Domineering. Mr. Sheng, I don't think there's a need for a consultation. Grandpa Sheng has woken up. The doctor who was examining Grandpa Sheng suddenly said to everyone. Maybe what you said just now provoked him and woke him up. Sheng Bowen looked forward and saw Grandpa Sheng opening his eyes. Grandpa, how do you feel? Grandpa Sheng had been unconscious for a night, so he had difficulty speaking. I'm fine. He had indeed woken up when he heard Sheng Xiao's voice. But he did not expect that Sheng Xiao had already taught second brother a lesson. Since he's awake, let the doctor do another check. I have something to do, so I'm going back to Zhongting. Sheng Xiao did not want Grandpa Sheng to know that he had been here. Eighth brother, you should care about Grandpa. Sheng Xiao said nothing, and let Su Che open the door. Soon, he disappeared from the corridor of the hospital. Meanwhile, Sheng Kai and his wife were in the garden of the hospital. Xiling, do you know? I'm really tired. I want to leave the Sheng family completely. I want to start my own business. I don't want to be ordered around by Sheng Xiao like a dog anymore. How could Gu Xiling not be angry? Chapter 560. You're right. If Sheng Xiao could rebuild Zhongting, why can't I? But if we leave, we won't have a share in Grandpa's inheritance. Xiling, now is not the time. Let's just bear with it. Gu Xiling stopped talking when she heard the word inheritance. She did not want to let the Sheng family benefit from it. One was Mu Qiqi, and the other was Hu Bimbo. But I have never been wronged like this since I was young. Never. Gu Xiling felt uncomfortable when she thought of Sheng Xiao's humiliation just now. Don't worry, I've noted down all of these debts. When Grandpa leaves, and we get our hands on the inheritance, we'll settle it again. Sheng Kai did not know how ugly and hideous he looked at the moment. Of course, Sheng Xiao would never treat Sheng Kai as his brother after what he said just now. They would be enemies when they met again. Grandpa Sheng woke up and sat on the bed for a long time. After a while he asked Sheng Bowen, "How long have I been unconscious?" "Grandpa, just one night. From now on, leave the matters of the Sheng family to us. You can't be agitated anymore," Sheng Bowen said to Grandpa Sheng. Grandpa Sheng's eyes were a little dazed. He looked into the distance and could not focus. After a while he said, "Yes, I can't take care of it anymore. I am relieved to leave Huang Yao to you, because you are a generous person. It doesn't matter if second brother and his wife are arrogant. After all, eighth brother will not stand by if they cause trouble. In the end, isn't eighth brother still managing Huang Yao? What do I need to worry about? My only regret is that apart from fourth sister who is pregnant, none of you have children yet. I can't see the next generation of the Sheng family being born. Grandpa, there will be. Your eldest brother is always flirting everywhere, and is not serious at all. Your second brother is infertile, and after your fifth brother emigrated, he rarely comes back. Your sixth brother is disappointing, and your seventh brother is crazy. Now who else can I count on? Grandpa, are you saying that second brother is infertile?" Sheng Bowen grasped the key point and asked Grandpa Sheng, "Don't tell anyone about this. You and Xiao Ran have to hurry up." Sheng Bowen was still a little shocked when he heard the news. Sheng Kai couldn't have children. Perhaps some things were destined. So, you don't have to hate him so much. Because of these 2 comas, the old man felt that his time was free. If he could live one more day, even if it was just one day, he really did not have the mood to resent and plot. Unfortunately, second brother and his wife were walking further and further down the road of reunion. Sheng Xiao threw a tantrum at the hospital, and Su Che sent a message to Mu Chichi about it. So after she had no classes in the afternoon, she did not go straight to the Criminal Investigation Bureau. Instead, she went to Zhongting. When the secretary saw her, she was about to knock on the door for her, but Mu Chichi made a shushing gesture and took the coffee from the secretary. "It's almost night, and you're still drinking coffee? Change to a glass of water." The secretary did as she was told, and quickly handed her another cup. Mu Chichi knocked on the door and entered. She walked straight to Sheng Zhao's side, but he did not notice her. He simply took a sip from the cup, and when he found that it was plain water, he looked up in confusion. "It's almost 6 o'clock. Why are you still drinking coffee?" Sheng Xiao put down the pen in his hand and leaned against the chair in a relaxed posture. He turned to Mu Chichi. "Why did you come?" "Because of someone. He went to the hospital today and threw a big tantrum. I thought you would need my comfort, so I came here immediately." Mu Chichi sat on his lap. "Are you worried about Sheng Kai?" Sheng Xiao shook his head. "Since I don't treat him as a brother, I definitely don't want to waste time on him." "Then why are you still so shameless?" "It's just, you just feel that Sheng Kai has betrayed your trust, and you have betrayed the trust of everyone in Huang Yao, right?" Mu Chichi guessed. "Although you are indeed successful in the business world, Sheng Kai is a person, and an ambitious person. People's hearts will change. This is not something you can control." Sheng Xiao gently stroked Mu Chichi's hair. Mu Chichi's hair must be fragrant since she did not go to the autopsy room. So he relaxed and temporarily removed the invincible armor. "As long as you have a clear conscience, that's enough." He did not expect that this little one actually knew how to comfort him. "Leave those things to third brother in the future. You know very well that he will have to face it himself sooner or later. Look at you. It seems that you can't continue working. Hardworking CEO Sheng, why don't you skip work today?" Sheng Xiao raised his wrist and looked at his watch. Then he put Mu Chichi down and said, "I'll send you to the forensics laboratory." "No need. I'll accompany you tonight. We'll do whatever you want to do." Feng Shanshan and Tang Yin were there anyway. The professor should not be short of help. But her man needed her company. The invincible god could also be weak, and let his imagination run wild. In the evening, Gu Xiling came to the ward with dinner. When she saw Grandpa Sheng, her expression was a little unnatural. The butler asked the kitchen to make these dishes. They are all Grandpa's favorite dishes. "Third brother, you and Xiao Ran can go back and rest. Xiling will be fine here." Sheng Bowen glanced at Hu Ran and finally agreed to Grandpa Sheng. "Then we'll go back and rest." In fact, it was a compromise. He wanted to let Gu Xiling know that they never wanted to take the opportunity to make Grandpa Sheng change his will. Everything was just Sheng Kai's imagination. Go. Grandpa Sheng waved at them. After they left, he said to Gu Xiling, "Second brother can't have children. What are you going to do?" "I'm going to tell him and do a test tube test," Gu Xiling replied. Gu Xiling replied, "I heard what you said in the afternoon. You said that you want to see the next generation of the Sheng family being born. I'm old and can't play around anymore. The world belongs to you young people. But Xiling, since you're the one I've chosen, you're also outstanding. However, I hope that you and second brother can support each other and not become each other's stumbling blocks. Since you're going to do that, go ahead." That was Gu Xiling's plan. If they had children, wouldn't they get a bigger share of Grandpa Sheng's inheritance? Looking at Grandpa Sheng's body, it was not a sign of longevity. She had to plan everything as soon as possible. But if she told Sheng Kai about it, he would probably go crazy. What she was afraid of was that even if Sheng Kai agreed, the quality of his sperm would not be up to standard. Chapter 561. The next day, Mu Qiqi saw that Feng Shanshan had changed her clothes. She said, "I remember that you were wearing the same clothes the day before and yesterday. That's not your habit. I didn't go to the forensics lab last night, and I didn't ask you. You didn't go back the night before, right? What does it have to do with you?" Feng Shanshan rolled her eyes at Mu Qiqi. "I really thought that you were not interested in Officer Tang. But I guess you were together the night before yesterday, right?" Feng Shanshan was shocked when she heard that. "How did you know?" "There's a smell on Officer Tang's body. It's a kind of wood fragrance. I can smell it when I get close to him. You have the same smell on you too. I just didn't expose you at that time. So, either you went to his house, or you were very close to him. Don't think too much. I just stayed over the night before yesterday," Feng Shanshan said angrily. "Who asked me to have nowhere to go? If I had a choice, I would rather go to the professor's house or your house than his house. You've already gone there. Why are you telling me this now?" Mu Qiqi couldn't help but laugh. "I'm not a gossipy person. Actually, Officer Tang is really a good person. And I think I'm not the only one who knows. Anyone with a nose knows, including the professor. You're still talking about it." Although Feng Shanshan stayed in Tang Yan's house for a night, she really curled up on the sofa for the whole night. As for Tang Yan, he stayed in his study obediently and never came out. The two of them spent the night peacefully. The next morning, Tang Yan left her money for a taxi. He did not even let her see him. This man was at most not a bad person, but he was definitely not a good man. "How's the case going?" "There's no new evidence, and we haven't confirmed the identity of the mysterious man. But there's news about your second sister-in-law's case. After the paparazzi recruited the man, the police arrested the man yesterday and interrogated him. They found out that his assets were all illegal income. The man couldn't stand the interrogation and finally confessed. The police should bring the lady of the Hu family here for questioning soon." Mu Qiqi thought that when this matter was over, she would really have to thank the captain properly. Mrs. Hu had been on tenterhooks at home for the past 2 days, because she didn't know whether she could take care of herself. In fact, if she hadn't been so obvious, Mu Qiqi wouldn't have noticed her at the entrance of the police station, and Mu Qiqi wouldn't have called Sheng Bowen to remind him. She only had herself to blame for everything. The police successfully got the evidence from the man that Mrs. Hu paid the murderer at that time, as well as the recording that the man handed over. Now that the authenticated material evidence was present, the police immediately ordered to go to the Hu family to arrest the murderer. However, when the police came to the door, Papa Hu was very surprised. "What are you doing?" "CEO Hu, the police are investigating a case and need to bring your wife back to assist in the investigation. It's about 2 years ago. She paid a hitman to kill your daughter." Mrs. Hu was shocked when she heard that. She didn't expect that the case would be found out so soon. "Old Hu, I don't have it. Help me, I don't have it." "You'll know when you go to the police station. Take her away." Since there was an arrest warrant, the evidence was conclusive. Mrs. Hu was immediately taken to the police station. At the same time, Papa Hu called Hu Ran. Xiao Ran, the police are here to arrest someone. Really? Hu Ran was so happy that she almost cried out. Then Dad, wait for me. I'll go to the police station now. Come. I'll wait for you at the door. At this time, Mu Qiqi and Feng Shanshan were not at the police station. After Mrs. Hu was arrested, she was directly locked in the interrogation room for interrogation. At first, she refused to admit that she paid the hitman to kill Hu Ran. But when the police took out the recording of the hitman's phone call, the line of defense in her heart completely collapsed. Papa Hu and Feng Shanshan waited at the door until the interrogation was over. Then, the captain of the criminal investigation team walked to the father and daughter and said to them, Miss Hu, I heard from Mu Qiqi that you really want to find evidence to accuse your stepmother of being the hitman. Actually, you could have called the police earlier. Hu Ran's eyes turned red when she heard that. After I got into the car accident, that woman even asked someone to find a chance to attack me in the ward. I just pretended to be stupid and escaped. When Papa Hu heard that, he said to her helplessly, It's all my fault. You've been wrong so much. Dad, she's really very cunning. No matter how cunning she is, she's still caught, isn't she? Don't worry. The law will give you an explanation. But now, the suspect wants to see you. Do you want to see him? Papa Hu nodded without hesitation. Of course I want to see him. Then, the police arranged for Papa Hu and his daughter to enter the interrogation room. Old Hu, help me. I don't want to go to jail. I really don't want to. Papa Hu sat on the chair and was silent for a few seconds. Then he said to the vicious woman, The thing I regret the most is meeting you. I know that you're not very friendly to Xiao Ran, but as long as you don't hurt her, I can tolerate you. But I didn't expect you to do so many evil things behind my back. Old Hu, because you said that as long as you have a daughter, we don't want other children. This was the condition for you to enter the Hu family, because I have to be fair to my daughter. I've already broken my oath as a father and let you into the family, but I didn't expect you to be so greedy. The woman opposite him cried so hard that her makeup was ruined. She looked very miserable. Old Hu, I won't dare to do it again. Save me, please. Why don't you beg Xiao Ran instead of me? Hu Ran didn't say anything until she met her stepmother's urgent gaze. You know very well that I can't save you, and I can't spend money to hire a lawyer for someone like you. You should go to jail and experience what it means to live a life worse than death. Xiao Ran, I was wrong. I was really wrong. Don't be so ruthless to me. You know you're wrong now because you've been arrested. The evidence is conclusive, Hu Ran said to her. Hu Ran said to her, I really have to rejoice because from now on, I'm finally free. Let me ask you, did you collude with Gu Xiling? Did you tell her that I'm allergic to honey? The guilty woman was afraid of any interrogation at this moment. However, any flicker in her eyes was a tacit agreement to Papa Hu and his daughter. I only hope that the court can give me a heavy sentence. For this I can do anything. Old Hu, you can't do this to me. It's true. I'm pregnant with your child. It's true, it's true. The woman said to Papa Hu as she clutched her lower abdomen. Chapter 562. So you've been guarding against me. The woman laughed mockingly and looked at her husband. If you cared more about me and didn't set so many harsh conditions, I wouldn't have ended up like this. You're wrong. You have more than anyone else, but you're never satisfied, Papa Hu said. If you think that my conditions are harsh, you shouldn't have agreed to marry me in the first place. Why did you not? Isn't it because of my money? Today is the last time we see each other. The police will sue you. After you go to jail, I'll start the divorce procedures. I want you to have nothing. You can't even beg for death. After that, Papa Hu stood up with Hu Ran. Xiao Ran, let's go home. No, don't give up on me. No. After enduring 2 years of pretending to be a fool, this vicious woman finally got the punishment she deserved. When Hu Ran left, her eyes were red. In the future, I won't find you a stepmother anymore, Papa Hu said to Hu Ran when they left the police station. Once bitten, twice shy. Dad, you're still so young. Why can't you find a stepmother? You can't lose trust in others because of this woman. But next time, you must keep your eyes open. You and third young master, hurry up and have a child for me to play with. Then I won't be lonely. Hu Ran blushed, but she felt relieved. She had not expected to find out the truth of the matter. She had thought that the vicious woman would be able to get away with it. It was all thanks to the police and Muchichi. She would remember this kindness. In the police station, although the police had finished investigating Hu Ran's case, they still had no clue about Xinqing's case. The mysterious man made the police look for a long time. In the end, the captain decided to give it a try and handed the photo to Hu Ran's stepmother. Do you know the man in the photo? Since this woman was an old fox in the entertainment industry, she might be able to reveal something that the police did not know. If I can tell you who this man is, will you reduce my sentence? It depends on your performance. You have no choice now. The woman looked at the photo for a long time and thought for a long time. Finally, she said to the police, "If I'm not wrong, this person should be the CEO of Huayu Entertainment, Xia Yingsheng. How many tens of percent do you have?" 70. The woman replied. Although he disguised himself very well, he has a very serious O-shaped leg. That shouldn't be wrong, but Xia Yingxing has an older brother. The two brothers look very similar. You've finally done something good. After that, the police immediately started an investigation on Xia Yingxing, including what the forensic doctor had mentioned earlier. They wanted to see if he knew any martial arts or boxing. In the afternoon, when Hu Ran returned to the hospital, she told Grandpa Sheng about what had happened. But as she spoke, her eyes fell on Gu Xiling from time to time. Thanks to Chi-Chi's help, I got justice for the car accident 2 years ago. My stepmother is now locked up in the police station. I really didn't expect that Madame Hu, who looks so elegant and generous, was just pretending. Grandpa Sheng sighed. You're lucky. You don't have to be afraid in the future. I still will, because my stepmother did something good for me. She told me something about someone plotting against me, so I still can't let my guard down. Hu Ran was implying something. In fact, she was lying to Gu Xiling. After all, Gu Xiling had admitted to the honey incident herself. Of course, how could the old man not understand the meaning behind her words? When she first came to the Sheng family, she was sent to the hospital with broken glass. She was hurt all over because of Gu Xiling. Would she not bear a grudge? That would be strange. You're the daughter of the Hu family now, and the Gu family has changed. If you want to deal with me, I won't be able to fight back at all. Moreover, our husbands have switched identities now. Third brother is the CEO, and what is my husband? If you really want to admit defeat, show me how you want to admit defeat. Second sister-in-law, I will make it clear today. If you continue to do something shameful behind third brother and my back, I will not be polite to you anymore. Just like what you said, you don't have the Gu family as your backing now. I will definitely put you first, Gu Xiling said calmly, because she knew that she had to endure the humiliation now. Otherwise, Sheng Kai would not be able to make a comeback. You better be like this. Grandpa Sheng saw that the two sisters-in-law were not on good terms, but he could not persuade them, because this was the debt second brother and his wife owed. What about Huang Yao? Because Sheng Bowen had become the CEO, the eldest young master of Tiffany and Company, had officially announced the resumption of the cooperation with Huang Yao. Such a big crisis had been resolved, and the board of directors was very satisfied with Sheng Bowen's performance. But whether he would become the second Sheng Kai was still to be seen. Sheng Bowen had become the CEO, but his secretary was still the one assigned by Sheng Kai. She knew that she should retreat, but Sheng Bowen did not let her leave. It's the same no matter who it is. As long as you do your job well, I will let bygones be bygones. The secretary was very surprised. If it were Sheng Kai, he would have fired her immediately. But Sheng Bowen could still tolerate it. CEO Sheng, you should be more ruthless. But second brother and I are not the same, Sheng Bowen replied. If there is nothing else, you can go out and do your work. Actually, second young master did not send me to monitor you. He sent me to seduce you. After Sheng Bowen heard this, he smiled. That depends on your ability. You are too upright. You are not suitable for the business world. Whether I am suitable or not, you will know in the future. Sheng Bowen did not explain further. He was very happy to know that Hu Ran's stepmother had been arrested. After the secretary left, he immediately called her. It's really good news. You don't have to be worried anymore. You really have to thank Xiaoqi. Third brother, I thank you too. Before this, Hu Ran had to stay in the Sheng family because of her stepmother's threat. But now, she no longer had any scruples. Could the two of them be together? Although Sheng Bowen did not plan to change his wife, what if Hu Ran wanted to meet a better person? So, after thinking for a moment, he said, if you want to go back to the Hu family, I can sign the divorce agreement for you. After all, you have just escaped from the Hu family. I don't want you to fall into the abyss of the Sheng family. You deserve a better life. Chapter 563. It seemed that there was no need for Hu Ran to stay in the Sheng family. Moreover, she and Sheng Bowen were just a couple in name. However, when Hu Ran heard this, she did not feel very comfortable. She knew that third brother was a kind-hearted person, but when she thought about it, was she that unworthy of a man's pursuit? Moreover, in her most difficult time, Sheng Bowen did not despise her for being a fool, and still married her. Couldn't she stay by Sheng Bowen's side and go through thick and thin with him? In Sheng Bowen's heart, was she really not worthy of his trust? Let's talk about this later. Aren't we just celebrating the arrest of that woman today? Hu Ran changed the topic. Okay, let's talk about it later. But sooner or later, Sheng Bowen would tell her sooner or later. In the evening, Mu Qiqi and Feng Shanshan went to the police station. At this time, the police were interrogating Xia Yingsheng. But this big shot in the entertainment industry was very difficult to deal with. He did not cooperate with the police at all. Even when the paparazzi had evidence, he denied that he had been to Xinqing's house. The police did not have any more direct evidence, so they could only let Xia Yingsheng go home. Professor, Captain hopes that the forensics team can do a more detailed examination to see if there are any more clues. Because Xia Yingsheng denied that it was him, the police have done a related investigation on him and found out that Xia Yingsheng is physically weak and lazy. He rarely goes to the gym, let alone martial arts and boxing, which are high-intensity physical skills. What about his brother? Mu Qiqi asked. His brother is still abroad. On the night Xinqing died, he was also abroad. He has a perfect alibi. The professor nodded. Then we can only look from the beginning to the end and see if we can find any more clues. The police are under a lot of pressure. After all, the victim is a celebrity. What about Huang Fu? Didn't you ask her about the situation? These two people only know how to talk from afar. Huang Fu only knows how to make groundless accusations. She's even worse than us. It seemed that this matter was really troublesome. They did not find anything related to Xia Yingsheng in the victim's house. Could it be that the man was not Xia Yingsheng? The few of them turned Xinqing's body over and over again, but the conclusion was the same as before. Forget it. We won't be able to find any new evidence today. You two can go back first. The professor said to Mu Qiqi and Feng Shanshan. Aren't there any exams recently? You guys aren't in a hurry. It was nearing the end of the semester, so of course there would be exams. So aside from coming to the police station, Mu Qiqi had to study when she got home. As for Feng Shanshan, Mu Qiqi shifted her gaze back and forth between Tang Yin and her. The two of them had stayed in the same room for one night. Why did they look as if nothing had happened? The professor saw her gaze and smiled. Tang Yin, you've had guests recently, haven't you? There's a woman who stayed the night. What's wrong? Tang Yin said. You're really expressionless. In any case, he didn't plan to have a long-term relationship. So why did he have to change his expression? Moreover, he had only done a good deed. Where was Feng Shanshan? He pretended not to know anything about it, as if he was listening to someone else's story. No matter how immature her friend was, she wouldn't bring her boyfriend home every day, would she? Unfortunately, she was wrong. Her roommate not only brought her boyfriend home today, but also let Feng Shanshan hear something she shouldn't have heard. I don't want to move to your place. Feng Shanshan still has the money she got from the Sheng family. Isn't it great to eat and drink with rich people? Feng Shanshan did not expect to hear something like that. So, she did not leave from the living room this time. Instead, she came into their sight openly. Shanshan, why are you back? Her roommate got down from her boyfriend's body in a fluster. I'm living with you. You should at least care about my sensory experience. I don't want to watch erotic movies in the living room. Can't you leave a clean place in my house? Feng Shanshan fired at the other party directly. Also, I do have money, but you won't be able to use a single cent. Shanshan. Pack up and get out of my sight. Feng Shanshan crossed her arms and said. However, her roommate's boyfriend hit Feng Shanshan from behind. He hit her on the head with an ashtray. After Feng Shanshan fainted, he said, Why don't we just take her money? Her roommate was scared out of her wits. She watched as her boyfriend found the wallet in Feng Shanshan's bag and room. Then they ran away. The next day, Feng Shanshan did not come to class. Mu Qiqi quickly called her, but no one answered. Then, she called the police station to confirm if she was in the forensics laboratory. No, she didn't come. Professor, can you trouble Officer Tang to go to her house and take a look? Now no one else had the time. Okay. Tang Yin was very impatient when he received the task. But he did not refuse. Instead, he found Feng Shanshan's house with ease. But he found that the door was unlocked. Tang Yin immediately pushed the door open and saw Feng Shanshan lying on the ground. He quickly went to help her. When he found that she was still breathing, he quickly sent her to the hospital. This woman's head was smashed when she went home. It seemed that social relationships were really complicated. When it was almost noon, Feng Shanshan finally woke up. She saw Tang Yin standing beside her with a sullen face. She asked, Am I still alive? You're still alive. Who hit you? Feng Shanshan thought of last night. If she had known earlier, she would not have suffered that loss. In the end, she did not have a man by her side. My roommate and her boyfriend. Call the police. I'm going back to the police station. After saying that, Tang Yin was about to leave, but Feng Shanshan stopped him. In the spirit of colleagues, shouldn't you not leave just like that? Officer Tang. Even if I'm a stranger, you can't leave me alone. I don't have any relatives by my side. Feng Shanshan almost fainted from anger. How could there be such a straight man like Tang Yin in this world? Don't you have a lot of friends? Forget it. You can go. I'll call Mu Qiqi. Feng Shanshan felt that even if Tang Yin stayed, she would die of anger sooner or later. However, although Tang Yan's words were a little mean, he did not really leave. He just looked unhappy. You're really troublesome. Chapter 564. In the afternoon, Mu Qiqi took advantage of the lunch break to go to the hospital. She saw Feng Shanshan and Tang Yin staring at each other. She did not go in to disturb them, because she felt that such a scene was not bad. After Tang Yin left the ward to rest, Mu Qiqi appeared at the door of the ward. Did someone seek revenge on you? In your heart, do I only have so many enemies? Feng Shanshan glared at Mu Qiqi. You know that I have many friends. You have so many friends. Why were you smashed? Forget it, I won't joke with you anymore. You're injured now and can't go back to the apartment. What do you plan to do? Don't you have any relatives you can contact? I have the huge sum of money I got from the Sheng family. Which of my friends and family won't have designs on me? Feng Shanshan sneered. So I often think that it's no wonder that rich people like you never make friends with poor people. You're also poor. How can you be my friend? Mu Qiqi glared at her. At this time, Tang Yin came back. When he saw Mu Qiqi, it was as if he had seen his savior. Since you're here, I'll leave first. Officer Tang, I'm going to class right away. I just came to take a look. Shanshan is so seriously injured that she definitely can't go to class. I might have to trouble you again. Mu Qiqi quickly said. Please help her. She's a girl and alone. It's indeed dangerous. Then what do I have to do to make it not dangerous? Tang Yin could not help but ask. Feng Shanshan could take care of herself after some observation. It was just that she had nowhere to go. She could not stay in the hospital forever. Having a place to stay, not to mention taking care of her. At least I won't have to worry about her safety. Then you can go. Tang Yin said directly, because he had already planned to handle Feng Shanshan's hospitalization procedures after Mu Qiqi left. Then, he would throw her into his house. That would be safe, right? Then I'm really leaving. Before Feng Shanshan could figure out what the two of them meant, they had already left the ward. When Tang Yin came back, he had already gotten the hospitalization procedures. Let's leave the hospital. Where to? Where else can you go? Aren't you going to continue to trouble me? After that, he carried Feng Shanshan up from the bed and brought her back to his house. He threw her on the sofa and said, "You can take care of yourself now. I'm going back to the police station. There's food in the fridge and new toiletries are at the bottom of the wardrobe. Other than that, don't touch my other things." Then he left. Feng Shanshan looked at Tang Yan's house again and felt a little helpless. Because she was not as lucky as Mu Qiqi, who had a complete family and so many people who adored her. She was alone in this place. Her parents had divorced and remarried. She didn't even know where they were now. Other than the fixed monthly allowance, she almost forgot that she was also raised by her parents. Now that her friend had betrayed her, it might be the punishment for her previous absurd life. Although Mu Qiqi really wanted to help with Shen Qing's case, she could not do much other than perform an autopsy. She was not experienced enough. So instead of going to the police station to have a headache, she might as well stay at home and do some revision. Now that Feng Shanshan was injured, she had to take more notes. When Sheng Xiao returned home, he was surprised to see Mu Qiqi earlier than him. The case has been solved. Mu Qiqi shook her head. The clues are gone now. The people in the police station are worried. I can't help, so I came back to look at more cases. I could solve the complicated ones before, but now I can't solve the simple ones. Why are there 2 notes? Sheng Xiao took off his coat and sat on the sofa. When he saw the 2 identical notes, he frowned. Feng Shanshan was beaten up. She's in the hospital now. Mu Qiqi answered naturally. I can't just watch and do nothing, can I? There's an annual cocktail party tomorrow night. Do you want to go together? Mu Qiqi put down her pen and looked at her man. Of course. I can only be your female companion. Besides, there's no point for me to go to the police station now. It's almost the new year. There will be more social events this year. Just bear with it. What do you mean bear with it? I don't need to bear with it. I'm very happy, okay? Didn't Secretary he say that he would introduce sister-in-law to us? Mu Qiqi did not show any impatience or dislike at all. These social events have nothing to do with your profession. I thought. I don't need you to be careful. I don't dislike it either. Whether it's a forensic doctor or a wife, I'm very happy. Mu Qiqi reached out and hooked her arms around Sheng Xiao's neck. Believe me, I can take good care of everything. Although I know that my husband will be with me for a lifetime, I can't be too presumptuous, can I? Sheng Xiao chuckled and pushed her away. Continue reading your case. I'll go change. Actually, it's quite boring to read these cases. Why don't I help you change? Mu Qiqi blinked. When Sheng Xiao saw that, he immediately grabbed her collar. What a magical little thing. That was what Mu Qiqi thought. No matter how focused she was on something, she could not forget the premise. Who gave her such a relaxed environment to do what she wanted to do? Xiao Xiao had taken the responsibility of taking care of the Shen family from her shoulders. If she was still stingy with her efforts, wouldn't she be hurting the person she loved the most? However, although the 2 of them said that they were going to change their clothes, in fact, they had to exercise in the cloakroom. Young people had good stamina. They could fire at any time and anywhere. As for the police station, they were sorting through the case again. After 2 or 3 days, the public was talking about it. However, the police could not find any clues about one suspect. It was really amazing. Late at night, Tang Yin returned home and saw Feng Shanshan sitting in the living room watching TV. He asked her, "Have you eaten?" "Yes. I saw that you have noodles in the kitchen, so I made a bowl for you. You can eat it if you're interested. If not, just treat it as my supper." After hearing that, Tang Yin walked to the kitchen and saw the steaming noodles on the table. He tried taking a bite. He did not expect it to taste good. "I didn't expect you to know how to cook. I've lived alone since I was young. What can't I learn?" "I don't know how to cook. Tang Yin said naturally. I don't like it. Give it a thumbs up. I'll pay your rent. Feng Shanshan lay on the sofa and said, how's the case? There's still no progress, Tang Yin replied. You're injured, so there's no need to ask so much. I'll sleep in the study. You can help yourself. Chapter 565. Late at night at the hospital. The old man still had to stay in the hospital for a few more days, but Sheng Bowen and Hu Ran were keeping watch at the hospital tonight. After Sheng Bowen proposed a divorce, Hu Ran did not mention it again, but the two of them could not help but feel awkward. Hu Ran was afraid that Sheng Bowen would get along with Grandpa Sheng, because the two of them had become much closer recently. Hu Ran was afraid that Sheng Bowen would accidentally tell others about their decision. If that happened, it would be irreversible. You should go back and rest. I'll keep watch here. Aren't you tired of working during the day and keeping watch at night? Sheng Bowen looked at Hu Ran and shook his head. I'm afraid that you'll be in danger if you stay here alone. Eighth Brother's men are here. What are you afraid of? Hu Ran pushed him. Go back. We don't need you here. Sheng Bowen was helpless. Because he had a regular meeting tomorrow morning, he surrendered. I won't stay here. I'll go to the hotel opposite the hospital. That way if you need me, I can come to you as soon as possible. Is that okay? Hu Ran blushed, but she nodded. Then why aren't you going? Grandpa Sheng saw the awkwardness between the two of them. He guessed that the young couple had not gotten into the mood yet. Sheng Bowen was in charge of the Sheng family now, so Sheng Kai had a lot of time to drink and get drunk. Gu Xiling was angry and wronged when she saw this. Are you planning to give up on Huang Yao completely? Look at yourself in the mirror. You don't have any fighting spirit at all. You don't look like a man. Sheng Kai sat up from the bed drunkenly and pointed at Gu Xiling. You don't scold me all day. I have my pride too. A man's dignity is earned by himself, not given by others. Sheng Kai, Grandpa is urging us to have a child as soon as possible. What do you think we should do? Gu Xiling planned to make everything clear at this moment. Then let's have a baby, Sheng Kai answered unnaturally. Why are you still pretending? There's something wrong with your body. How can I have a baby? Gu Xiling crossed her arms and sat on the edge of the bed. Sheng Kai frowned and grabbed Gu Xiling's clothes. When did you peek at the documents I locked in the cabinet? Do I need to peek? For half a year, we never used contraception. I even deliberately nourished my body, but I couldn't get pregnant. So I went to the hospital for a checkup. The doctor said that everything is normal. Since I'm normal, do I still need to say who the problem is? Gu Xiling said angrily. My body is fine. You're still trying to be brave. If you don't cooperate with me and go to the hospital for a test tube, then you'll never have a child. When third brother's child is born, you'll only lose more opportunities. Gu Xiling patiently explained the stakes to him. Think about it yourself. Sheng Kai had always felt humiliated in front of Gu Xiling. This was because men were most afraid of having problems in that area. They would be criticized by others, and even their own women would look down on them. I can't accept it, especially if word of this gets out. I'd rather die. Sheng Kai suddenly woke up and sat on the bed. He looked very dispirited. I don't know how things turned out like this. If you're not willing to be a deputy CEO, and you don't accept the fact that you're infertile, then don't even think about making a comeback in this life. Have you ever thought that Sheng Xiao had to endure more than half a year of ridicule from others? With his character, he's flexible. Can't you do the same? If you're sure that you want to live like this, then I, Gu Xiling, am completely blind. Sheng Kai was in great pain, and it was difficult for him to accept that he had suddenly fallen from the clouds and was exposed as infertile. Give me some time. I need time. Just tonight. If you continue to be so dispirited, then we'll be forced into a corner in the end. Having said that, Gu Xiling turned around and went to the study. She planned to leave the entire space to Sheng Kai. If he still couldn't understand, then Gu Xiling felt that there was no reason for her to persist. The second half of the night in Jianchuan was spent in a storm. Hu Ran did not like this kind of weather, because she did not know if Sheng Bowen's embrace was still her harbor. Feng Shanshan, who was also betrayed by her friends and homeless, was also woken up by the thunder. She sat up in the dark and took deep breaths. Then, she turned on the lights in the living room. Unexpectedly, Tang Yin was alarmed. Scared? When Feng Shanshan saw him coming out of the study, she shook her head unnaturally. No, it's just that the thunder is too loud. I can't sleep. Just admit it if you're scared. There's nothing shameful about it. Tang Yin went to the kitchen and poured a glass of water. He also warmed a glass of milk for Feng Shanshan. How long have you been alone? When I was very young, Feng Shanshan replied. What about you? 7 or 8 years old. My parents died in the hands of kidnappers. Since then I've been alone. Tang Yin leaned against the sofa and answered while drinking water. No wonder. His EQ was so low. Feng Shanshan held back the second half of her sentence and did not say it out loud. So, you trained yourself to be so strong and became a police officer? It's getting late. Go to sleep. If you're afraid, you can turn on the lights or lie by the fireplace. It will reduce your fear. Tang Yin refused to answer her personal questions, and Feng Shanshan consciously did not ask further. It turned out that both of them had fallen from grace. This man's life was more tragic than she had imagined. At least her parents were still alive. Therefore, Feng Shanshan decided to hate him less in the future. After all, it was not easy for him to not grow up without his parents' education. Then, she wrapped herself in a blanket and sat by the fireplace. Sure enough, when she saw the fire, she was filled with hope and was not so afraid anymore. More importantly, she knew that there was a very strong man in the study, which made her feel very safe. Because of this, Feng Shanshan suddenly had a bold idea. Since Tang Yin was also living alone, could he rent half of the house to her? However, she quickly dismissed the idea because Tang Yin seemed to be a loner and did not want to be involved with anyone. It would not be easy to convince him. It seemed that she would have to work harder and see if she could get Tang Yan's approval by cooking. Chapter 566. When he saw Hu Ran curled up on the sofa in the ward, he walked in quietly and sat down beside her. Hu Ran suddenly woke up and looked a little shocked. You? I was worried that you would be afraid, so I came over to accompany you. Sheng Bowen took off his coat and put it on Hu Ran's shoulder. Sleep. I'm here. At that moment, Hu Ran felt her entire body warm up. Sheng Bowen made her feel how precious it was that a man was willing to give her a reliable shoulder to rely on. Why would he want a divorce when things were already like this? Fool. The next day, Banyan Courtyard. Sheng Xiao received a parcel from the United States. It was the marriage registration certificate for him and the little one. With this certificate, he and Mu Qiqi could truly be considered to have successfully registered. What is this? Mu Qiqi came over to take a look. When she saw that it was a document that she had signed, she immediately blushed. I only received it now. Why are you blushing? Didn't you say that we're already an old couple? Sheng Xiao held the document and could not help but laugh at her. Getting married at the age of 20 makes it seem like I'm worried about marriage. Of course I have to blush. Mu Qiqi covered her face and said, Who wanted to eat me up when they were 17 years old? Mu Qiqi glared at Sheng Xiao. He might have to brag about this for the rest of his life. So what if she liked him first and pursued him first? The law did not say that a girl could not pursue a man. Thinking of this, Mu Qiqi felt at ease. She hugged the marriage certificate in her arms. If you bully me again, I'll tell Mom and Dad. You don't have to. Mom and Dad are on your side. Early in the morning, the two of them stood in the courtyard and started kissing intimately. It was not until Mama Sheng ran into them when she went out that she saw them. Two damn children. Don't you know how to be careful? It's so early in the morning. I'm going to school. Mu Qiqi was even more embarrassed when she saw that Mama Sheng had seen her. She returned the marriage certificate to Sheng Xiao and got into Su Che's car. Sheng Xiao put away the marriage certificate and followed. Mama Sheng smiled. The old couple had seen such a scene many times. They were very pleased because their son and daughter-in-law had such a good relationship. She did not ask for anything else. After getting into the car, Sheng Xiao became serious. At 5:30 in the afternoon, Suche will pick you up at school. He will bring you a dress. I know. I won't forget. Mu Chichi replied, giving him a peck on the cheek before she got out of the car. She was already a wife, but she was still so shy. Jianchuan was clear after the rain. Sheng Kai spent the whole night thinking. The next day, he returned to his usual glamorous self. He planned to go to work at Huang Yao after breakfast. After all, he was still the deputy CEO. Seeing him pull himself together, Gu Xiling was relieved. You won't be able to endure it for too long. There's still a long way to go. However, about the child, let me think about it and make preparations. No matter how anxious I am, there is no need to rush this moment. I can still wait for a few days, Gu Xiling replied. Go to Huang Yao. Be patient. Since I'm ready to face it, I've already guessed it. You don't have to worry about it. However, Sheng Bowen did not expect Sheng Kai to pull himself together so quickly and appear at the Huang Yao regular meeting. Because of Sheng Bowen's character, Huang Yao's previous aggressive state had to change. He was more focused on building a solid foundation instead of rushing to expand. This was different from Sheng Kai's management philosophy. One pursued stability, while the other liked to take risks. Of course, Sheng Kai had no say now. Huang Yao now had to listen to Sheng Bowen's arrangements. Because the VVIP night of Huang Yao was approaching, Sheng Bowen thought of Mu Chichi's amazing plan last year. This year, he wanted to ask Mu Chichi if she had any new ideas. After all, everyone had higher expectations for the VVIP night of Huang Yao now. However, now that Mu Chichi was a forensic doctor and was very busy, Sheng Xiao probably would not agree. After the regular meeting, Sheng Kai returned to his office. However, on his way back, he heard many people talking about him. I can't believe he still has the face to be the deputy CEO. Huang Yao was ruined by him before. Isn't that so? Fortunately, third young master is in charge now. Otherwise, I don't know what would happen to Huang Yao. Sheng Kai pretended not to hear it. When he was about to leave, Sheng Bowen appeared behind the employees. Aren't you busy with work? You still have the time to gossip? The employees were shocked. When they saw Sheng Bowen, they quickly dispersed. However, Sheng Kai did not appreciate Sheng Bowen's help at all. I didn't beg you to do this. I helped you not because you are my second brother. It would be the same for someone else. After that, the two brothers walked past each other. Sheng Kai really hated Sheng Bowen's arrogant character. Now that he was in power, it was as if everyone had to be taken care of by him. Did he think he was a god? Did he come to save the refugees? Sooner or later, he would tell Sheng Bowen the terrible consequences of excessive kindness. In the afternoon in Shengting, because Feng Shanshan was not in school, Mu Chichi suddenly felt a little lonely. She wondered how Tang Yan's family was doing now. She made a notebook for her. The exam was coming soon. Although they could not be considered best friends, they were no longer in a tit-for-tat relationship like before. The two proud people could be considered to appreciate each other to a certain extent. Feng Shanshan had actually guessed that Mu Chichi was really a saint in some aspects. It should be said that as long as Mu Chichi treated someone as a friend in her heart, she would definitely treat them very seriously. However, she now hoped that Tang Yan could accept her suggestion and give her a small corner of the house. For this reason, she woke up very early to cook. Although she did not see Tang Yan, at least Tang Yan left with breakfast. This was a kind of confirmation in disguise. She did not know if it would go smoothly when she mentioned this matter to him at night. Feng Shanshan did not call. Mu Chichi thought that she was very comfortable and happy, so she did not pay too much attention to her. After all, she had to accompany Xiao Xiao to the banquet tonight. Of course, she would not have guessed that she would see someone at the banquet. Someone who made her feel very suspicious. The banquet started at 7 in the evening. Mu Chichi and Sheng Xiao only arrived at the banquet venue at around 6:50. Go in and sit for a while. Try to finish before 8. After Sheng Xiao kept a low profile, he did not really like such occasions. He preferred to talk and laugh with like-minded people. Chapter 567. After entering the banquet, The happiest thing for Mu Qiqi was seeing Sheng Minglan and Jing Yun. Sheng Minglan was pregnant, so she looked even softer and had the radiance of motherhood all over her body. It was really not easy, thinking about how difficult it was for the two of them to be together. Jing Yun was going to be a father in the blink of an eye. Xiao Qi. In fact, Sheng Minglan felt that Mu Qiqi had changed a lot. She had seen this girl on TV most of the time, except when Jing Yun went to Zhongting to negotiate. She seemed to be able to surprise people every time. Why are you so far away from me? I stay with corpses all day. I'm really afraid that I'll affect you, Mu Qiqi said to Sheng Minglan. Isn't there a similar saying? It's better for a pregnant woman to stay close to a blessed man. Are you not lucky? Sheng Minglan glared at her. Not only are you lucky, but you are also full of righteousness. Seeing that their woman had a companion, the two men looked at each other and walked among the guests. Knowing that Sheng Minglan was pregnant, Sheng Xiao was not in a hurry. He held a glass of champagne and clinked glasses with Jing Yun. I didn't expect you to be ahead of me in becoming a father. You have to work hard, CEO Sheng, Jing Yun said with a smile. Sheng Xiao glared at him. He knew that the little one was only 20 years old and could not have a child. Still, it fully showed how much Jing Yun was looking forward to becoming a father. Sheng Minglan saw Sheng Xiao's gaze through the crowd and said to Mu Qiqi, "It seems that eighth brother is very envious." Mu Qiqi did not understand. Sheng Minglan stroked her belly. The hint was obvious. Mu Qiqi blushed. It's still too early for us. That's why I said that eighth brother is envious. We will have one too. It's just a matter of time. Just thinking about it. Sheng Minglan felt that if Mu Qiqi could have a child one day, she would definitely be the darling of the Sheng and Shen families. Then, she thought of eighth brother's face that showed off everywhere after having a child. She could not help but laugh. What's wrong? It's nothing. Mu Qiqi turned around and was about to say that she should go to the buffet area to get some food. She could not let a pregnant woman starve. But when she passed by the red wine area, she saw a man in a dark green suit. He had a very typical O-shaped leg, and his figure was very similar to the man who went to Xin Qing's house in the photo taken by the paparazzi. Sheng Minglan noticed her expression and asked, "What's wrong?" "That man just now." Mu Qiqi beckoned to Sheng Xiao, who was nearby. Soon her man came to her. "What? Xiao Xiao, do you know that man?" Mu Qiqi asked, pointing at the man in the red wine section. "The person in charge of Huayu Xielin. He's Xiang Xing's brother," said Sheng Xiao. "Why? Is it related to your case?" The police had interrogated Xia Yingsheng, but they didn't get anything out of him. Moreover, his brother was overseas at that time, so they didn't pay much attention to Xielin. However, when Mu Qiqi saw him today, she had a strong feeling that this man was not an outsider to Xin Qing's matter. Of course, it was impossible to rely on intuition to investigate a case. Then, "Do you have any contact with that Xielin?" "I can only say that I know him." Then, Sheng Xiao pinched Mu Qiqi's nose. "Even if you have doubts in your heart, you can't show it on your face. Do you want others to see it and be on guard against you?" Mu Qiqi was stunned for a moment. Then she quickly replied, "I know. I'll be careful next time. He won't run away. We can just investigate after the case is over." "Xiao Xiao, do you know anything else?" Mu Qiqi looked at the teasing smile on the man's face. She was a little expectant. "Or do you not like me to talk about this in such an occasion? Let's go back and talk about it. That depends on what you want to know." Then Sheng Xiao pointed at his cheek. It was obvious that he was hinting at something. Mu Qiqi leaned forward and kissed him. Only then did she ask with a clear conscience, "I want to know if he knows martial arts or—" "I don't know anything else. I only know that he is good at golf and baseball. I've met him a few times." "Baseball?" Mu Qiqi suddenly thought of Xin Qing's injury. "Are you here to attend a party or to investigate a case?" Sheng Minglan couldn't help asking her. "You're already so serious now. What will happen in the future?" After listening to Sheng Minglan's words, Mu Qiqi put away all her questions and returned to her normal self. "It's just a coincidence." While they were talking, Xielin came to Sheng Xiao and said, "It's been a while." "It's been a while." I'm here to ask if your wife has any complaints about you, because I think the way she looks at me is a little strange. Xiaolin was very direct. He looked at Mu Qiqi with a complicated gaze. Mu Qiqi coughed softly and answered, I'm just surprised that you and your brother look so alike. Little girls are always curious about the world. I'm often confused by her unconventional thoughts. You don't have to worry about it, CEO Xia. Sheng Xiao quickly shielded her. All right. Let's play golf together when we have time. Xiaolin did not ask further. But this man was very observant. After that he turned around and left. Sheng Xiao turned around and looked at Mu Qiqi. I think you won't live past the second day if you become a criminal police officer. Luckily, you're just a forensic doctor. I thought you could handle things on your own. Is this how you act in front of me? I still have this bit of self-awareness. Mu Qiqi said impatiently. Don't worry. Before Xinqing's case is solved, I won't go anywhere alone. I'm a coward. I'm a coward because I have to worry about my lover. Sheng Zhao's face was not as black as before when he heard what the little one said. However, Xiaolin must have sensed something. After all, Mu Qiqi had appeared on TV before. In order not to leave her doubts to the next day, Mu Qiqi called the professor after the party ended. Xia Yingxing's brother Xiaolin also has O-shaped legs. He also plays baseball and golf. The people from the police station are investigating this person's social relations, said the professor. Because Tang Yin found a detail in the paparazzi's photo. There is a scar on this person's neck. Xia Yingxing doesn't have that scar. How cunning. He deliberately covered it up from every angle. Tang Yin used a magnifying glass to look at it for a long time before he found that. Chapter 568. It doesn't matter. It's not our job anyway. The professor laughed. Not bad, Xiao Qiqi. You actually saw the murderer at a cocktail party? It's just a coincidence. Mu Qiqi stole a glance at Sheng Zhao's expression. Not daring to continue chatting with the professor, she hung up. This isn't the way home, is it? Where are we going now? The hospital. Although it was two simple words, Mu Qiqi understood that Sheng Xiao wanted to see Grandpa Sheng. But when they arrived at the hospital, Sheng Xiao went straight to the office of Grandpa Sheng's doctor. Chief Sheng, I'm sorry to trouble you to come here. With the help of the specialists you've invited, we've found out the real reason Grandpa Sheng fainted twice recently. It's because of this tumor hidden in his brain. Sheng Xiao watched as the doctor handed him the CT scan. But Sheng Xiao did not take it. He did not think that he could understand it. Is it diagnosed? The doctor nodded. Moreover, there's a possibility of metastasis. There's a 70% chance that it's malignant. What's the treatment plan? We're worried that he might not be able to handle such a major surgery at his age. The location of the tumor is really not optimistic. However, at the latest tomorrow, after I've consulted with the specialist, I'll tell you a few feasible plans. When that time comes, it'll be up to your family to decide. There was no obvious change in Sheng Zhao's expression. But Mu Qiqi knew that while her man appeared to be ruthless and unforgiving with his words, he was the most sentimental of people. With Grandpa Sheng sick, the other brothers of the Sheng family were either thinking about Huang Yao or the inheritance. But Sheng Xiao had found a specialist. Of the two who were once at odds with each other, Sheng Xiao was the first to know about Grandpa Sheng's illness. Mu Qiqi very naturally held Sheng Zhao's hand as if to comfort him. Sheng Xiao knew what she was thinking, and so put Mu Qiqi's hand into his pocket. So he did not come to the hospital to see Grandpa Sheng, but to hear the diagnosis from the doctor. Come up with a treatment plan as soon as possible. I want him alive. When Sheng Xiao said those words, Mu Qiqi could clearly feel the seriousness in his words. The doctor looked at Sheng Zhao's expression and finally nodded. We will do our best. After that, Sheng Xiao brought Mu Qiqi home. However, Mu Qiqi was not as talkative as usual, which Sheng Xiao was not used to. What's wrong today? Today, I seem to have gotten to know my husband again. Mu Qiqi could not help leaning into his arms. I always felt that you hated the old man from the bottom of your heart. For me, you stood against him and left the Sheng family so resolutely. I always thought that you no longer have a grandfather in your heart. But I knew that you lost your temper 2 days ago. And seeing you here today, I know that you actually care about your family very much. If you didn't care about your family, you wouldn't have been attracted to the Sheng family in the past. You wouldn't have complained either. Xiao Xiao, it's not embarrassing to say it out loud. In front of outsiders, you act like a high and mighty god. But in my heart, you also need 7 emotions and 6 desires. You need love and companionship. Do you regret being with me after seeing me like this? Sheng Xiao caressed Mu Qiqi's hair again and again. Why should I regret it? I love you even more, because I know that my man has a big heart. Although Sheng Xiao and the old man were incompatible on the surface, Mu Qiqi could understand the softness in his heart. Sheng Xiao hugged the little one tightly. He did not dote on her for nothing, although the old man was hateful, and he didn't want to forgive him. Since he knew about this, he wouldn't sit back and do nothing. Otherwise, wouldn't he feel guilty? Feeling bored staying in the hospital, the old man asked who ran when he could be discharged. Coincidentally, the attending doctor was doing his rounds and told the old man, "Keep him under observation for 2 more days. Otherwise, we won't help you if you faint again. You doctors only know how to cheat money. I'm perfectly fine. Why would I need to stay in the hospital?" The doctor smiled at that. "Old mister, you're right to listen to me." The old man did not struggle. After all, Huang Yao was managed by third brother, and there were other people in the family. He did not need to worry. "Then I'll stay for 2 more days. You can't stop me if there's no problem. Old mister, you have to remember that you have a good grandson." The doctor said meaningfully and left the ward, leaving the old man, and who ran confused. However, the grandson the doctor was talking about was obviously not Sheng Kai. He rarely came to the hospital, and made a fuss the moment he came. It was unlikely that it was Sheng Bowen, but he had been dealing with things in Huang Yao for the past 2 days. The old man guessed that it was him, but he was afraid that he would be disappointed. However, just because of this, he was willing to stay for 2 more days. Tang Yin returned home in the early morning, but Feng Shanshan was still waiting for him in the living room. "Have you eaten?" Tang Yin shook his head. "I don't have time to eat. Then I'll heat it up for you." Having said that, Feng Shanshan got up from the sofa and went to the kitchen. Soon, she came to Tang Yin with the delicious food. "Eat." Tang Yin frowned. He did not understand why she was so attentive all of a sudden. So after sitting down at the dining table, Tang Yin looked at the food and did not eat. Instead, he leaned on the table and asked Feng Shanshan, "What are you up to now?" Feng Shanshan was surprised for a moment and then smiled. "Am I? Tell me. Otherwise, I really can't eat this meal." Feng Shanshan lowered her head and thought for a moment. Finally, she said, "Look at your, such a big house. It's quite lonely living alone. It's time-consuming to clean it, and no one will cook for you. Why don't you give me some space? I'll take care of the housework and 3 meals a day. What do you think? I won't live for free. I'll take care of everything and pay rent." Tang Yin lowered his head in silence. After listening to her, he only answered, "No." "Why?" Feng Shanshan asked. "I won't trouble you." "You're already troubling me," Tang Yin said coldly. "I don't like people wandering around in front of me and affecting my thoughts. Moreover, I've been staying in the study for the past 2 days. It's very uncomfortable." Feng Shanshan did not expect Tang Yin to reject her so quickly and straightforwardly. Although she was a little depressed, she felt that it was understandable. Chapter 569. Alright then. I've been bothering you for the past 2 days. Since you don't like it, I'll pack up later and leave tomorrow morning, said Feng Shanshan. It's up to you. Then, Tang Yin stood up from the dining table. Feng Shanshan was dumbfounded. You ate it, didn't you? Did I poison it? Tang Yin thought for a while and sat back down. Feng Shanshan knew that he was embarrassed, so she did not want to torture him anymore. His sweat could really suffocate a person to death. In fact, Feng Shanshan was more or less mentally prepared. It would be strange if Tang Yin, who was not a compassionate person, agreed. He did not like to trouble others, and he did not want others to trouble him. However, Feng Shanshan noticed that the house next to Tang Yan's small courtyard seemed to be abandoned. If she could buy it and become Tang Yan's neighbor, she would not have to worry about safety, and she would not have to worry about causing trouble or disturbing him. Thinking of this, Feng Shanshan curled up on the sofa and fell asleep. When the time came, she would also buy a sofa like this because it was comfortable enough to sleep on. Tang Yan buried his head in his meal and did not pay attention to Feng Shanshan. When he was about to go to the study, he saw that Feng Shanshan had already fallen asleep on the sofa. In the past, he never felt guilty when he rejected people, because he did not think that he would beg others for help. If he offended them, then so be it. However, he did not know why he felt a little guilty when he rejected Feng Shanshan. This was something he had never felt before. Feng Shanshan was betrayed and had nowhere to go. Logically speaking, as a man, he should help her. However, he did not want to have anything to do with others, especially in his personal life. He did not want another person to distract him. Unexpectedly, Feng Shanshan did not act pitiful or pester him. The next day, she really packed up and left his house. When Tang Yin went out, he suddenly felt worried because he actually thought about where else could Feng Shanshan go. Was that something he should be concerned about? Thinking of this, he was even more annoyed. He rode his motorcycle and left the house. Xia Lin's interrogation was not smooth either. This man was even more cunning than Xia Yingsheng. He insisted that he was abroad when Shen Qing died, and it was impossible for him to kill someone in the country. Now that the police could not find more evidence, they could only watch as Xia Lin was released. What happened between Shen Qing and Xia Lin? What secrets did the two of them have? Why couldn't they find any clues in Shen Qing's house? Tang Yin was troubled by this, so he did not have the mood to care about Feng Shanshan. He also wanted to use work to completely forget about this matter. What about Feng Shanshan? He appeared to be carefree and not worried about where he would go next. When they arrived at school, Mu Qiqi saw that Feng Shanshan had actually come to class. She asked her, "Where have you been these 2 days? Didn't you smell my scent? Why are you still asking when you already know the answer?" Feng Shanshan rolled her eyes at Mu Qiqi. Officer Tang probably wants to be a bachelor for the rest of his life. He's really hard to describe. You took off your clothes and seduced him. Feng Shanshan continued to stare at Mu Qiqi. Although I can have fun, I don't like to have sex. I just suggested renting his house, and I will pay for his meals and housework. But he still rejected me without hesitation. Do you know? He did not hesitate at all. Mu Qiqi could not help but laugh. He is single because of his ability. What can you do? What are your plans after this? Thanks to Grandpa Sheng's blessing, I have money to buy the house next to Tang Yan. This way, I don't have to worry about my safety anymore. Mu Qiqi could not help but raise her hand and give her a thumbs up. You're amazing. This is the sorrow of being alone. I heard that after Xia Lin brought him back, he refused to admit it. The police's lead was cut off again. The only hope now is to crack Shen Qing's computer. But I don't know if the information in it can be recovered. Mu Qiqi sighed. It's such a big case. Everyone knows that he is the murderer, but they can't do anything to him. I used to think that this kind of thing only happens in TV dramas. Just wait for the news. Feng Shanshan took the notebook and could not help but smile. Do you know? I want to be your enemy all the time. It's hard for me to do this. We are still enemies. While they were chatting happily, someone unexpectedly sent Mu Qiqi a package. Mu Qiqi opened it and saw a real human palm inside. It was dripping with blood, and the students around her were so frightened that they scattered. Feng Shanshan and Mu Qiqi, however, were very calm. They looked at each other and smiled. Someone dares to threaten you? Looks like he wants to know how powerful CEO Sheng is. But Mu Qiqi did not want to joke about it. Doesn't this mean that the person is guilty? Shall we go to the forensics lab tonight? Mu Qiqi shook her head and said to Feng Shanshan, You go alone. I have something to do at home. She did not forget that she would go to the hospital with Sheng Xiao tonight to listen to the results of the consultation. Although the old man had humiliated her, he was sick now. He would not be able to live for long. What was there to hold a grudge? In fact, when the doctor asked him to stay in the hospital, Grandpa Sheng had more or less guessed that the reason for his fainting was not simple. So when Hu Ran and Gu Xiling were not around, Grandpa Sheng went to the doctor's office alone. Doctor, there is no one else now. Tell me the truth. I don't have much time left, do I? The doctor looked at Grandpa Sheng's eyes and knew that he was an understanding man. He said directly, yes, it's a tricky disease, but it's not completely hopeless. I understand now. Let's leave it to fate. This old man has never been afraid of anything in his life. Old sir, you should be more optimistic. I'm having a consultation with the specialist today, because your grandson asked me to come up with a treatment plan. If you don't come, I'm already on my way to see him. Which grandson of mine? Look, other than the one who doesn't get along with you, who else? 8th young master Sheng Xiao. Grandpa Sheng was silent for a while. Then he asked uncertainly, is he trying to make me die early or something? Chapter 570. Grandpa Sheng followed behind the doctor and saw Sheng Xiao, Mu Qiqi, and the specialists in the consultation room. Then, the attending doctor walked in and put all the plans in front of Sheng Xiao. Chief Sheng, I believe that the specialists have told you about old Mr. Sheng's condition. And after our discussion, we suggest that you persuade old Mr. Sheng to undergo surgery as soon as possible. The success rate of the surgery is 35%. The current situation is still optimistic. If it continues to be delayed, it will be too late when the tumor metastasizes or the cells spread. Then the surgery will be meaningless. What about the surgery plan? Sheng Xiao asked. There are 2 plans for the surgery at the moment. One is to go abroad. At the moment, the equipment abroad is more advanced. But in terms of this kind of surgery, I still trust the local doctors more. The 2 chances are almost the same. This needs to be weighed by the family members. This is the first time I heard that a 70% chance is considered high. Sheng Xiao's voice was a little cold. Chief Sheng, we doctors also hope that every patient can recover. But humans are so small in front of diseases. We can't do anything but try our best. Sheng Xiao looked at the plan and finally put it in front of the doctor. You said that the local doctors are more skilled. The specialists you invited also agree with this. Also, the patient needs to agree to the surgery. And there are so many people in the Sheng family. Do you want to tell them? If I tell them, can the surgery still be done? Sheng Xiao asked the doctor. Sheng Kai and Sheng Bowen would have to fight many times. Moreover, the Sheng family had their own thoughts. It was unknown whether they wanted Grandpa Sheng to recover or not. Tell them. Then I will think of a solution for the patient, said the doctor. I hope you will do your best. Grandpa Sheng really did not expect that Sheng Xiao would come to the hospital for a meeting with the doctors for his sake. Obviously, Sheng Xiao did not want to see him. But just as the doctor said, not wanting to see him did not mean that he did not care. After Sheng Xiao and Sheng Bowen left, Grandpa Sheng went to the doctor's office. Did you see it? Grandpa Sheng nodded. I just didn't expect. He didn't expect that his grandson, who was always against him, was the one who cared about his health the most. And those people who usually spoke well of him were now eyeing his inheritance. Old Mr. Sheng, that is why you have to make a choice. With that, the doctor placed the treatment plan in front of Sheng Xiao. Now you need to nod and agree. When the old man saw the surgery consent form, he didn't think too much and wrote his name on it. You won't even consider it? I trust Sheng Xiao. It's just that I don't want anyone else in the Sheng family to know about my surgery, especially my other grandchildren. Doctor, before this, I hope you can cooperate with me. I want to leave the hospital and find an excuse to come back. Old Sheng did not want second brother and his wife to know about this. Otherwise, who knew how much they would plot against him? The doctor thought about it and nodded. Go ahead, I'll just cooperate. Among all his children and grandchildren, only the 8th one was sincere to him. But in the past, he had done so many things to hurt his 8th brother. He had pushed his grandson away with his own hands. After coming out of the hospital, Mu Qiqi received a call from Feng Shanshan. The information in Xinqing's computer has been recovered and decoded, and in her encrypted files, there are photos of her and Xialin together. Aren't you coming to the police station to participate in such an exciting moment? Mu Qiqi turned to look at Sheng Xiao. Although she was excited, she did not hesitate and said, "Since everyone has found the evidence, I have nothing to do with what happens next. Just tell me the results when the time comes." Feng Shanshan nodded. Mu Qiqi nodded. "All right. We'll talk about it in class tomorrow." Mu Qiqi wanted to go, but she wanted to stay by Sheng Xiao's side. Sheng Xiao put his arm around Mu Qiqi's neck. He did not want to let go of her now. He just wanted to hug this little one. "Are you going to tell Dad and Mom?" Sheng Xiao shook his head. "There's no need to let more people know about this. As long as he did it quietly, it would be fine." That old man probably didn't want to alarm others, especially those who had a deep obsession with his legacy. What if the surgery fails? Sheng Xiao did not say anything. He just hugged Mu Qiqi tighter. "We'll talk about it when the time comes. I'm afraid that Sheng Kai's family will make a big fuss. Not to mention even 10 Sheng Kais can't do anything in front of me." This was Sheng Xiao's confidence. At this moment, Xialin was brought back to the police station for interrogation. They found a lot of photos of them in Xinqing's computer. "Officer, what can this prove? If you suspect that I killed her, you should show me the evidence." Xialin said very calmly. "You have to be clear. When Xinqing died, I was abroad. If you have evidence, come and arrest me. If not, I advise you not to keep wasting my time. Otherwise, I will file a lawsuit against you." The colleagues in the interrogation room felt very uncomfortable, because this man was really too cunning. He did not fall into any trap. Seeing this, Tang Yin felt that he had to find new evidence. That was why was Xialin abroad when Xinqing died? If he could figure this out, everything would have an answer. However, when Tang Yin left the police station and was about to ride his motorcycle, he saw Feng Shanshan at the entrance of the police station. At first, he did not think about this woman for the whole day. He did not have any burden in his heart. But Tang Yin felt that when he saw Feng Shanshan at this moment, all the psychological hints in his mind were broken. So, he rode his motorcycle to Feng Shanshan. "Where are you going? I'll give you a ride." "No need. You can go. I bought a car myself." Feng Shanshan took the car key and shook it at Tang Yin. It seemed that she did not need him at all. "Have you found a place to stay?" "Yes." Feng Shanshan nodded. "Thanks to you. That's good." After that, Tang Yin rode his bike and left the police station, leaving Feng Shanshan alone in confusion. Was this man so kind to her? Chapter 571. That night, when Tang Yin returned home, he was eager to know where Feng Shanshan had gone. Didn't they say that her friends could not be trusted? Didn't they say that she had been living alone since she was young, and had no family? He was the one who rejected Feng Shanshan. But strangely, he was the one who could not let go of Feng Shanshan. That feeling made him feel strange and anxious. He did not know what was wrong with him. So he went to the bathroom to take a cold shower in the winter. But when he returned to the kitchen and saw the kitchen utensils that Feng Shanshan had used, the worry that he had just suppressed floated to the surface of the water, like a feather falling into the lake. How would he know that Feng Shanshan was packing her things next door? However, Feng Shanshan did not want him to know, so she planned to miss his working hours and go out. Otherwise, it would be very awkward if they met. The next day, the doctor announced that Grandpa Sheng was fine and could be discharged. Sheng Bowen specially arranged a comfortable car to pick him up from the hospital. The doctor and Grandpa Sheng agreed to only give him 2 days to go back to the hospital for surgery, because his condition could not be delayed. Grandpa Sheng nodded in agreement. He planned to go home and arrange a good show where his good friend came to visit him. Then, he would go straight to the hospital for treatment. When they returned home, the Shengs behaved themselves. Even Sheng Kai went back to work seriously. He was willing to submit to Sheng Bowen and be the vice president of Huang Yao. He swallowed everything. After Sheng Bowen took office, He handled the matters of Huang Yao very well. Even if he was not smart, he knew how to make use of his strength, which was to win people over with virtue. A large number of radicals in the company didn't like Sheng Bo's scholarly style of doing things, so they secretly contacted Sheng Kai. Because if Sheng Boan became the CEO, they would have no benefits to speak of. They wouldn't be able to get any benefits. On the surface, Sheng Kai did not accept anyone's invitation, but in their hearts, they knew that Sheng Kai could not be picky at this time. At lunchtime, everyone was very obedient. Grandpa Sheng chuckled. Then he put down his bowl and chopsticks and said to everyone, "Grandpa Song called me late last night and invited me to the Song family to rest for a few days. Anyway, I need to rest now, so I agreed to his invitation and will leave tomorrow afternoon." "Which Grandpa Song? The antique collector?" Sheng Boan asked. "Yes, it's him." The old man nodded. "Let the butler accompany you. Pay attention to control your emotions," Sheng Boan instructed. At the side, Gu Xiling looked at the old man. She couldn't help but have some doubts in her heart. This was because the Song family that the old man was talking about was also friends with the Gu family. However, this family had already moved to Iceland a year ago. They weren't even in the country at all. How could they possibly invite the old man over? What was the old man planning? After lunch, Gu Xiling called her mother and asked her to confirm the matter of the Song family. However, Gu Xiling's mother told her that the family had not come back since they emigrated. Gu Xiling was sure that the old man was hiding something. Otherwise, why would he hide it from his family? In order to get to the bottom of this, Gu Xiling decided to follow Grandpa Sheng tomorrow to find out what was going on. In the afternoon, Mu Qiqi and Feng Shanshan rested in the library of Shengting University. It was clearly such a sacred place, but there was a little girl gossiping in such a place. Feng Shanshan couldn't stand it anymore. She walked in front of the two girls and said to them, "This doesn't seem to be a suitable place for you to discuss which celebrity has cheated on you and who has hooked up again." The two girls glanced at Feng Shanshan and felt a little uncomfortable. They closed the gossip magazine and got up from their seats to leave. Feng Shanshan looked at the cover. It was actually Shen Qing. She called out to the two girls, "Leave the magazine." The two girls handed the magazine over in a silly manner and quickly left the library. Feng Shanshan returned to her seat with the magazine and handed it to Mu Qiqi. "This issue has Shen Qing's previous interview. What's the use? It's impossible for her to return to the magazine and remind us who killed her and where the evidence is." Mu Qiqi glanced at the cover of the magazine. Although she said that it was useless, her hands still flipped through the pages uncontrollably. When she saw the lines of the interview, she suddenly frowned. Shen Qing said that the kind of people she envied the most in her life are the paparazzi. Shouldn't it be hatred? Feng Shanshan looked at the magazine. She also mentioned that she has a good relationship with the paparazzi in the circle. Thinking of this, Mu Qiqi immediately took out her phone and searched for news about Shen Qing. She found that there were very few negative news about her. Of course, it was compared to Huang Fu. If the paparazzi Cui is really helping Huang Fu to keep an eye on Shen Qing, how is it possible that Shen Qing did not expose any scandals? I still feel that the paparazzi is very suspicious. Feng Shanshan was also bored. She went to look for news and videos about the paparazzi. She looked at them one by one, because she also felt that there was a secret between Shen Qing, Xielin, and the paparazzi. Although the police had found the photos of Shen Qing and Xielin, Mu Qiqi, I actually want to investigate the ancestors of this paparazzi, because I found this. Feng Shanshan passed the phone to Mu Qiqi. She went to the paparazzi's Weibo and found his alternate account. She followed the alternate account and found the profile picture that the paparazzi had used before. It was a photo of him with a woman. Although it was not very clear from the outline, it was not difficult for them to see that it was a fat version of Shen Qing. They looked at each other and then got up from the library. The time they spent looking at the photo should be about the same as when they were in high school. So, they quickly found the location of the paparazzi's high school. They rushed there anxiously only to find that Tang Yin was also in that school. You also found something unusual? Tang Yin glanced at them and continued to look for the photos in his hand. I went to the Civil Aviation Department to confirm it. Xia Lin did go abroad a few days ago, but on the afternoon of Shen Qing's accident, he flew back to Jinshuan with a private jet. The people from Huayu made a fake certificate. But even so, Xia Lin still insisted that he did not kill Shen Qing that night. He also did not see Shen Qing. He even clamored for the police to show him the evidence. So, I think that perhaps the paparazzi and Xia Lin know something about each other. But they are hiding it for each other. Chapter 572. Because of this, Feng Shanshan took out her phone and showed it to him. Shen Qing and the paparazzi used to be a couple in school. Tang Yin searched through the photos and found Shen Qing, who was a little fat, in the graduation photo album. After that, the three of them found the homeroom teacher at that time to understand the situation. Only then did they know that the two of them were in a relationship at a young age. Shen Qing was fat at that time, and many people despised her. Only the paparazzi liked her and was willing to be with her. In the photo, they also saw the paparazzi exercising. So Mu Qiqi asked, "Is this man very fit?" Of course. His father used to run a Muay Thai gym in his early years. Although I have never seen him practice, his physical fitness is amazing. He has always been number one in sports. After understanding the situation from the school, the three of them felt very complicated. Xia Lin was Shen Qing's lover, and the paparazzi was Shen Qing's first love. What kind of entangled love triangle was this? It was really annoying. So when you are in a relationship, you have to be wholehearted. Shen Qing's situation is the most likely to lead to a love killer. Mu Qiqi sighed. Relationships are troublesome. Tang Yin said these four words naturally. No, he felt that the root of all this was greed and love. Shen Qing is asking for too much. You are asking for nothing. Feng Shanshan could not help but stare at him. Officer Tang, although love is not as good as you think, it is not as bad as you think. Mu Qiqi saw the two of them arguing because of this matter. She could not help but stand aside, because she felt that she was like a third wheel now. I can't understand women. I beg you, don't understand women. I really don't want anyone to be so unlucky. The two of them bickered and left the school where the paparazzi and Shen Qing used to study. This should be a great help in sorting out the case. And from the paparazzi's mouth, they should be able to say something that the police did not know. At night, the two of them came out of the police station. Mu Qiqi saw her man's car parked quietly at the entrance. She turned and asked Feng Shanshan, "Have you bought a house?" "Of course, but it is not suitable for people to live in yet." "Then where are you going tonight?" Mu Qiqi raised her eyebrows. "Are you going to your friend's house?" "The police are still looking for the two scumbags who escaped. They took away all my cards except for the one where I really saved my money. I don't know how stupid they are," Mu Qiqi said disdainfully. "I'll go to that house and sleep for a while. It shouldn't be a problem. Tang Yin is just next door anyway. I won't worry about it." With that, Mu Qiqi opened the door of the black car and sat beside Sheng Xiao. Sheng Xiao's eyes were half closed. When he felt her leaning against him, he said to Su Che, "Let's go." Feng Shanshan watched Mu Qiqi leave and quickly went home before Tang Yin left. She did not want to bump into him. This man really had no EQ at all. He was destined to be single for the rest of his life. Feng and Qing, he Xiaoyan, Qing, he has Lin is. Qing. She has Qing had no. Is. S. The more you wish for something to happen to them, the less likely it will happen to them. Sheng Xiao squinted at the little one. Besides, who asked you to worry about one couple after another? Are you a matchmaker or a matchmaker? Is it that obvious that I'm playing matchmaker? Idiot. After cursing, Sheng Xiao closed his eyes. You should write it on your forehead. Thinking about Shen Qing, Mu Qiqi told Sheng Xiao about the complicated relationship. I can't imagine how I would feel if a woman fought with me for you. First of all, that woman has to dare to approach me. Not all women are like you barging into my arms. Sheng Xiao pinched her little ear and said, That's right. You're the only one who dares to approach me. That's why I'm lucky. Muchichi sighed. She hugged Sheng Xiao's arm tightly. Sheng Xiao did not talk to her, but he smiled. The little one was naughty, but she knew her limits. She was close to him. Muchichi would look for him if he did not see her for more than 5 minutes. It was precisely because he could still feel her love so strongly that Sheng Xiao would let her go out and do whatever she wanted. He would spoil his woman no matter what. Late at night, Grandpa Sheng was safe and sound at home. Sheng Bowen thought that Grandpa Sheng was fine, so he decided to face his relationship with Hu Ran. But when he returned to his room, he saw Hu Ran standing behind her. He wanted to say something but stopped. Do you have something to tell me? Hu Ran asked. Sheng Bowen nodded. Then, he took out the signed divorce agreement and put it in front of Hu Ran. I've thought about it for a long time. Everything is fine in the Hu family now. You're not in danger anymore. So I think you can choose the life you want. After all, our relationship is too strange. We might not be able to get into character. So, I'll keep the divorce agreement for you. If one day, you think it through and want to leave the Sheng family, just sign it. I won't blame you. Hu Ran's face darkened, because she did not expect that this silly man would really prepare the divorce agreement. I won't sign it. Since I'm married, I don't plan to divorce, Hu Ran said seriously. Xiao Ran. It's late. Go to sleep. Hu Ran was afraid that he would insist, so she turned off the lights in the room and lay on the bed. I'll put it on the dresser. Do you really want to divorce me that badly? Hu Ran was a little discouraged. I've already said that I won't sign it. Don't you understand? I just hope that you'll think it through. Don't think about others anymore. Or do you not like me at all? Do you like another girl and want me to make room for her? If that's the case, I can fulfill your wish. Hu Ran's chest heaved up and down. It was obvious that she was really angry. Sheng Bowen sighed and silently put away the divorce agreement. I only have you by my side. There's never anyone else. Then don't say anything. Hu Ran shouted at him. I think my life is good now. There's no need to change. I'm very willing to be the wife of the CEO of Huang Yao. You have to let me live a happy life, right? I've suffered all these years and finally married a good man. Are you going to beat me back to my original state so soon? Do you think I'm a good man? Chapter 573. Late at night, the police station was still interrogating the paparazzi. This time, Tang Yin also entered the interrogation room. No matter how the paparazzi made up a story, he was not moved at all. He just watched the paparazzi perform. When the paparazzi was done, Tang Yin asked, Are you done? Officer, I've told you many times that I didn't kill Shen Qing. Is it because you can't find the mysterious man? So you always bully an honest person like me? Tang Yin did not say anything else. He just said to Tang Yin, Do you know that your fingerprints are enough for the police to charge you? How much more do you want to act in front of us? No, officer. This is the interrogation room, the police station, not your entertainment industry. Tang Yin roared. The people in the interrogation room were stunned. They could not help but tremble. We don't have time to act with you. Tell us about the love triangle between you, Shen Qing and Xie Lin. Tang Yin printed out the photos of the paparazzi and Shen Qing and placed them on the table one by one. You've led us to investigate that mysterious man again and again. In fact, your father owns a boxing gym. That mysterious man is physically fit and plays baseball very well. But a few days ago, Xie Lin's right arm was dislocated. So it's impossible for him to cause such serious internal injuries on Shen Qing's body. It can only be you. You and Shen Qing used to be classmates and have been lovers for so many years. You tried your best to protect her, but you did not expect that she would become the lover of a big shot in the entertainment industry. You held a grudge against her, so you killed her and framed Xie Lin. You are a paparazzi and Shen Qing is a superstar. How can you be worthy of her? Look at how beautiful Shen Qing is. But what about you? If it were anyone else, they would not give up Xie Lin and choose you. Enough. The paparazzo suddenly clenched his fists and yelled, I've had enough. I've forgiven her countless times. Every time, she would say that she had broken off all relations with that man. But every time, I would catch her in bed. I've had enough. At the same time, the other police officers also found the weapon he used to hit Shin Qing in the paparazzi's rented house. This case has been dragged on for so long. This scumbag is really patient. Everyone in the police station was relieved to be able to solve the case. When Tang Yin walked out of the police station, it was already 2 in the morning. Love. What kind of thing was it that could make someone so addicted to it that he would do such a terrible thing just because that woman betrayed him? Tang Yin could not understand the paparazzi's anger, and he did not want to understand it at all. Why couldn't people be solitary animals? Why must they get married? But for some reason, he could easily think of Feng Shanshan at this time. With a woman in his head, of course, he was annoyed, so he tried to calm himself down. However, no matter how many cold showers he took, his body temperature would not go down. What the hell? At this time, Feng Shanshan was camping in her small courtyard. Looking at Tang Yan's house, the lights were still on. What time was it already? Was this man not going to sleep? The next day, Mu Qiqi heard that the case had been solved. The murderer was the paparazzi, and it was all because of Shin Qing's betrayal. Therefore, the love game was also a dangerous game. That old man is going back to the hospital for surgery today, right? Mu Qiqi asked Sheng Xiao during breakfast. When Mama Sheng heard this, she frowned. Which old man? What surgery? Sheng Xiao glanced at Mu Qiqi and explained to Mama Sheng, a friend's father. I thought it was that old man from the Sheng family. I knew it. A scourge lives for 1,000 years. How could something happen to him? Mu Qiqi knew that she had said the wrong thing, so she did not continue the topic. She shrugged at Sheng Xiao. Fortunately, Mama Sheng did not continue to ask. After they got into the car, Mu Qiqi said, I talked to my parents about everything, so I am not prepared. Most of the time, your mind is thinking about corpses. Wrong. Most of the time, I am thinking about you, and a small part of the time, I am thinking about corpses. Mu Qiqi corrected her. Then she said, I have no classes in the afternoon. I will go to the hospital. It is weird to leave that old man alone. Aren't you afraid of quarreling with him? I will definitely not let him. At most, I will just hide a little, Mu Qiqi said. Go to Zhongting with peace of mind. I know that secretary he has a dinner today. I will take care of Grandpa Sheng. Sheng Xiao patted Mu Qiqi's head and could not help but sigh. You have finally grown up. You can be entrusted with important tasks. Bah, this is called going to war on behalf of your husband. I will let Su Che follow you. No need. You need Su Che more. He has another role. He is to help me monitor you and see if you dare to do anything. Sheng Xiao looked at Mu Qiqi as if she was an idiot. Don't forget that Su Che is my man. Men are indeed all big pig trotters. In the afternoon, Grandpa Sheng packed his things as if he was going to stay at a friend's house. But Gu Xiling saw it the whole time. From the moment Grandpa Sheng left the house, she quietly followed behind him and watched as the housekeeper accompanied Grandpa Sheng back to the hospital. When Gu Xiling arrived at the hospital, she did not leave immediately. Instead, she watched Grandpa Sheng change back into his hospital gown and lay on the bed to rest. Was Grandpa Sheng seriously ill and did not want the rest of the Sheng family to know? Gu Xiling guessed. She could understand Grandpa Sheng. But when she took out her phone and was about to call Sheng Kai, she saw that Mu Qiqi had also arrived at the hospital and went straight to Grandpa Sheng's ward. She almost thought that she had seen wrongly, but it was undoubtedly Mu Qiqi. Grandpa Sheng hid it from the Sheng family, but told Sheng Xiao and Mu Qiqi? Thinking of this, Gu Xiling quickly made the call. Kai, I have something to tell you. Grandpa Sheng did not know that Gu Xiling had followed him. But the moment he saw Mu Qiqi, his expression was a little unnatural. Mu Qiqi was the same. The two of them were silent for a while. It was the butler who broke the awkwardness. Miss Mu, please have a seat. I just went to the specialist. He said that the surgery is scheduled for tomorrow morning. I am just here to take a look. I will come with Xiao Xiao later, Mu Qiqi said to the old man. Grandpa Sheng did not say anything. He coughed softly, You should rest. I will leave first. You are not afraid of me. Why are you in a hurry to leave? The old man could not help but ask when he saw her turn around. Chapter 574. How refreshing. You should be the one who wants me dead, but now you are restraining yourself. The person who always said that she wanted him to be healthy was always provoking him when he was sick. Wasn't that the opposite? I don't agree with you, and I know that you still don't agree with me. You think that I am not worthy of Xiao Xiao. I don't care what you think of me, but you are seriously ill now. I have to endure it no matter how much I hate you. It is not too much to give a princess to someone like Sheng Xiao. Grandpa Sheng laughed. So, I have tried my best to give him the best, so that he can show his status, and not be afraid of being laughed at by others. I think my grandson is 1 in a million. You have said so much, but this is the only one I agree with. Muchichi snorted. But I am not bad. Although I am not as powerful as the princess, I am better than most of the young ladies in Jianchuan. Am I not? You are confident. Muchichi rolled her eyes. Of course she had that much confidence. Alright, go back. I have a butler here. I don't need anyone to take care of me for now. This was the first time they talked so calmly, wasn't it? Then rest early. Muchichi said politely, and turned to leave the ward. It was only after Muchichi left that Grandpa Sheng laughed. This girl still has such a personality. She never acts according to common sense. She's really like 8th brother. Isn't she taught by 8th young master himself? The butler laughed too. But this girl who has always been against me is actually more reassuring than Sheng Xiao and his group. Grandpa Sheng sat on the bed and laughed mockingly. Speaking of which, Gu Xiling is the one I chose. But what happened in the end? Gu Xiling saw Muchichi enter the hospital and leave with her own eyes. She did not stop Muchichi, but told Sheng Kai when she got home. Grandpa did not go to a friend's house at all. He went back to the hospital. He must be seriously ill. But he did not tell anyone in the family except Sheng Xiao. Sheng Kai's eyes were full of disappointment when he heard Sheng Xiao's name. Grandpa still thinks of 8th brother. Grandpa is being too biased. It's fine if he's fine, but if something happens to him and no one from the Sheng family is by his side, won't Sheng Xiao have the final say? Gu Xiling was indignant. I wouldn't be this angry if it was you, 3rd brother, or even 6th brother. But this person is Sheng Xiao. Did Grandpa forget how much Sheng Xiao hurt him? Let's go to the hospital to see what's going on tomorrow morning, said Sheng Kai. What about 3rd bro and the others? Should I inform them? To think that 3rd brother would share everything with Sheng Xiao. But what about Sheng Xiao? 8th brother didn't even tell 3rd brother about Grandpa's illness. 3rd brother is the only idiot who still calls Sheng Xiao his brother. Then the 2 of us will go, Gu Xiling said. Even if Grandpa needs treatment or something else, we should be there. An outsider like Sheng Xiao shouldn't interfere with the Sheng family's affairs. Sheng Kai did not say anything. After all, didn't Gu Xiling always want to be Sheng Xiao's wife? Although the 2 of them had agreed to forget about that matter, it was still hard to bear when she really thought about it. Tomorrow, she would go and see what Grandpa was playing. Could it be that all the descendants of the Sheng family were outsiders, and only Sheng Xiao was his grandson? Night, it was as if it had just begun. Feng Shanshan hired the workers to renovate the abandoned courtyard. After cleaning it, it finally looked like a home. Tang Yan, who lived next door, came back very early today. Feng Shanshan felt very warm when she saw the lights next door. But she secretly used Tang Yan's sense of security. Was it too much? However, perhaps the courtyard had been abandoned for too long. It was not easy for the water to come out, but the pipe in the bathroom broke again. Feng Shanshan looked at the water in the house, and could only carry a repair box to the bathroom. Was it really because I was too bad in the past that I have to be punished by fate for the second half of my life? After living alone for a long time, it was inevitable that she would do some rough work. But if she slipped and fell, was this considered bad luck? Her head had just been smashed. Was she going to fall and hurt her feet now? Feng Shanshan threw away the wrench dejectedly. She could not watch the water overflow, so she could only be thick-skinned and knock on the door next door. Tang Yin ordered takeout for himself and was thinking about Feng Shanshan's cooking. Who knew that she would appear at his doorstep just like that? You. The pipe in my house is broken. I can't fix it. Can you help me? Feng Shanshan looked inside and saw him eating takeout. She suggested, I can give you a meal as a thank you gift. Your house. It's next door, Feng Shanshan said unhappily. This small courtyard is independent, but it's been abandoned for too long. If I wasn't in a hurry to move in, I would definitely renovate the inside and outside before moving in. Wait. After saying that, Tang Yin turned around to get the key and followed Feng Shanshan out. When he entered the door and saw the scene of water overflowing, Tang Yin could not help but sigh. Clean the drain. The water flow is too slow. After saying that, his tall figure squatted at the broken pipe in the bathroom. Feng Shanshan quickly went to deal with the drain. She wanted to save her carpet and other things, but they were all soaked. You're always so amazing, Feng Shanshan said. Shouldn't a person live in a hurry? Tang Yin did not answer. Instead, he stood up and took off his shirt. This made Feng Shanshan swallow her saliva, because Tang Yin was only wearing a military green vest at the moment. His body was strong and smooth. It was obvious that it was the result of long-term exercise. Male hormones, this was how they erupted. The pipe is fine for the time being, but we have to find a professional to repair it tomorrow. Moreover, your house is already so wet. Are you going to continue living here? After Tang Yin was done, he stood up. The six-pack under his pectoral muscles was really too obvious. I'm going to camp in the courtyard. It was like that last night. Tang Yin said, You're good. Was she still a woman? After saying that, Tang Yin picked up his coat. As he walked out, he said to Feng Shanshan, Pack your things and come over. Otherwise, you'll come over to trouble your neighbor again. To be honest, the house was so wet that it needed to be dried for a few days. Moreover, Feng Shanshan really liked the fireplace in Tang Yin's house. As for Tang Yin, for some reason, when he knew that Feng Shanshan lived next door, his heart kept beating faster. Chapter 575. Feng Shanshan did not stand on ceremony. She carried her things and went to Tang Yan's house with ease. Seeing that you are in so much pain eating takeout, let me cook for you. No need. I have finished eating. It was mainly because Tang Yin did not want to be alone with Feng Shanshan anymore. Moreover, didn't Feng Shanshan just hurt her foot? Even if he did not care about women, he did not have the hobby of abusing disabled people. Feng Shanshan shrugged. It was best that Tang Yin did not need anything. So, she went to the fireplace in Tang Yan's house. She lit a fire and warmed herself up. Late at night, the whole of Jianchuan was foggy. Sheng Xiao brought Mu Qiqi to the hospital. Actually, he wanted to cheer for Grandpa Sheng, although he did not say it out loud. The success rate was only 35%. If Grandpa Sheng did not come down from the operating table, tonight would be the last time the grandfather and grandson would see each other. Because of this, Sheng Xiao brought Mu Qiqi to the hospital immediately after he came out from the dinner. In the hospital, Grandpa Sheng had just finished washing up. He was scheduled to have the earliest surgery tomorrow. Eighth young master, Miss Mu, the butler shouted. When Grandpa Sheng heard the butler calling him eighth young master, he felt as if a lifetime had passed. When he looked up and saw the person in person, he was shocked. Why did you come at this time? To let you go to the battlefield with peace of mind tomorrow, Sheng Xiao replied. The wool should be ready. Eighth brother, if I really leave, can you promise me that you will come back to the Sheng family? Grandpa Sheng said to Sheng Xiao seriously. I can't care about your private affairs. I just think that the Sheng family should not be without one member. You can mention this request to me if you survive tomorrow, Sheng Xiao replied seriously. Grandpa Sheng laughed. You are still the same. Forget it. If I really can't come down, the Sheng family will depend on you. You should just wait and see. I'm telling you clearly, if you can't make it through tomorrow, I won't interfere with the Sheng family's affairs anymore. No matter what second brother does, you know that I will do what I say. Alright, you still have to wake up early tomorrow. You can go back now. Grandpa Sheng understood what Sheng Xiao meant. However, he did not want Sheng Xiao to see him in a pathetic state. He had always been so domineering and imposing. He wanted to maintain his dignity until the end. As a matter of fact, he had endless things to say to Sheng Xiao in his heart, but he could not bring himself to say them when they were on the tip of his tongue. When you're asleep, we'll leave. Grandpa Sheng ignored the two of them. After taking the medicine, he lay down and closed his eyes. Sheng Xiao and Mu Qiqi watched him until he fell asleep before they left the hospital. Actually, this old man also has a side to him that is worthy of admiration. Which old man would want to have his children and grandchildren by his side to take care of him at this time? He is still so tenacious. Stay in a hotel tonight, Sheng Xiao said to her. It's just opposite the hospital. Mu Qiqi nodded. In fact, whether it was in the hotel or in the car, as long as she could stay by this man's side and accompany him through the trials and tribulations of life, it did not matter even if she had to suffer. Mu Qiqi never complained. As for Grandpa Sheng, he only opened his eyes after the two of them had left. The butler stood beside him and comforted him. Master, you have to hold on. Although eighth young master never says what you like to hear, he wants you to live. You should know that very well. Even at this time, he is still threatening me with Huang Yao. He is not comforting me in a way that I don't like. Even so, Grandpa Sheng felt warm in his heart. If he was not sick, he would not have felt eighth brother's special care. The next morning, at 7 o'clock, Grandpa Sheng's bed was pushed into the operating room. Sheng Xiao and Mu Qiqi stood on both sides of the bed and looked at Grandpa Sheng. Old man, if you still want to see your Huang Yao, you better grit your teeth and hold on. Not a single good word. Even so, Grandpa Sheng showed a rare smile. Eighth brother, I'm sorry. After saying this, he reminded the doctor that he was ready for the operation. Family members, wait outside. Don't worry, we will do our best. Seeing that Grandpa Sheng was being pushed away, Mu Qiqi held Sheng Zhao's hand subconsciously. He had always looked calm, but at this moment his palms were sweating. The word surgery soon lit up. When it was 8 o'clock, Sheng Kai and Gu Xiling drove to the hospital and saw Sheng Xiao and Mu Qiqi standing outside the operating room. Sheng Kai was furious. He went forward and grabbed Sheng Zhao's clothes. Where is Grandpa? What did you do to him? Let go. Sheng Xiao uttered those two words coldly. I'm asking you, where is Grandpa? Are you blind? Sheng Xiao broke away from Sheng Kai and tidied his clothes. Sheng Kai looked at the door of the operating room and pointed at Sheng Xiao. You, Sheng Xiao, are just an outsider. What right do you have to stand here and decide everything for Grandpa? You were the one who wanted to leave the Sheng family and Huang Yao. Now that Grandpa is in trouble, you don't even inform Grandpa's family and make the decision yourself? Who are you? Who are you? Do you need me to tell you why the old man is sick? Sheng Xiao was not that much taller than Sheng Kai, but for some reason, it felt like he was looking down on Sheng Kai. Grandpa is just afraid that we will worry. He is afraid that you are thinking about the inheritance. Sheng Xiao exposed him. Even so, who are you, Sheng Xiao? You hid it from the Sheng family, and all of us to get Grandpa here for surgery. How would I know what you are planning? What if you want Grandpa to die? Not wanting to continue arguing with Sheng Kai in such a place, Sheng Xiao gave Su Che a sharp look. Su Che got the signal. He walked straight to Sheng Kai and pressed him against the wall to stop him from making a sound. If you don't know how to be quiet, I'll teach you to be quiet. Sheng Xiao, Kai is your brother. No matter what you do, you can't treat him like this. Gu Xiling was the one arguing again. I remember I warned you not to appear in front of me. You are holding Grandpa hostage. I'm going to call the police. Gu Xiling knew that she could not win against Sheng Xiao, so she put another accusation on Sheng Xiao. Mu Qiqi was so angry that she laughed. Now I'm sure that you are born with the ability to convict people. You know why Grandpa needs surgery. Why didn't you tell him? Why are you still pestering us? What's the use? Chapter 576. What else do you know apart from bullying others? Gu Xiling asked Mu Qiqi, clenching her fists. You, Mu Qiqi, have destroyed the entire Gu family. Are you still not satisfied? Still, Kai is Sheng Zhao's brother. Why do you have to be so ruthless? Isn't it enough to play with people's hearts to this extent? Mu Qiqi held her forehead after watching Gu Xiling's emotional performance. It was as if this person had been possessed for a long time. No matter what you did to her, she would always be immersed in a world where others wanted to harm her. A very kind suggestion from me. I think you should go for a brain checkup, because I suspect that you are sick in the head. Mu Qiqi told Gu Xiling, pointing at her own head. Eighth brother, do you mean that you value the Sheng family again by doing this? Sheng Kai was held down by Su Che, but he was still reluctant. If that's the case, then don't pretend and come back openly. Don't play with people's hearts like this. You know very well how much hope grandfather has for you. If you have no intention of coming back at all, please correct your position. You are the CEO of Zhongting now, and everyone in Jianchuan knows that you abandoned grandfather and the Sheng family on his birthday. What do you want his brothers to do to you? Yes, I admit that during this period of time, I was almost blinded by power. However, is there no problem with your actions? If you were far enough from the Sheng family, and did not give third brother and grandfather hope, would the family become like this? Could you leave a last shred of dignity and survival for us mortals? You come and go as you please. You've never experienced how other people feel, have you? Sheng Xiao told Su Che directly at Sheng Kai's words. Let go. Su Che immediately let go at his command, allowing Sheng Kai to regain his freedom. If you want me to leave, I'll leave now. Sheng Xiao took Mu Qiqi's hand and walked to Sheng Kai's side. Then he warned him sternly. But if anything happens to the old man because of you, I will make you regret being born. With that, Sheng Xiao left the hospital with Mu Qiqi. Xiao Xiao, are you not going to wait for the old man to come out? If we stay here, the couple will only put on an endless act. It's not good for the old man's recovery, Sheng Xiao replied. That's true. Mu Qiqi nodded. Even Rong Junhan is not as good at acting as Gu Xiling. She is really comparable to Mu Tongxue. Now that I think about it, the old man is really pitiful. He doesn't even have someone to take care of him. I know that third brother and third sister-in-law can't win against this woman. That's not necessarily true, Sheng Xiao said meaningfully. I hope the old man will be lucky. Because of what Sheng Xiao said when he sent him into the operating theater, the old man had been thinking about how many more years he could go through. Therefore, on the operating table, his survival instinct was very strong. It was not easy for him to endure such a major surgery at such an old age. However, what made the doctors feel gratified was that the old man was really a tough nut to crack. After 4 hours, the surgery was a complete success. However, when Sheng Kai and Mu Qiqi heard that the old man had survived, their expressions were indescribably complicated. They could not tell whether they were happy or disappointed. The recovery period is very crucial. I hope that your family can take good care of him. At the same time, Sheng Xiao received a call from the attending doctor of the hospital. Chief Sheng, I can see that your brother is not very happy when he heard that the old man survived. Do you want to inform the other family members? They are already on the way. Thank you, doctor. Sheng Xiao thanked him. A doctor should have the heart of a parent. But he is old after all. After such a major surgery, he might be unconscious for a while. But you don't have to worry too much. Sheng Xiao informed third brother and the others in the Sheng family. Soon the family came to the hospital. At the same time, they complained about Sheng Xiao's behavior. The old man is in such a serious condition. How could eighth brother not tell anyone? This is too much. What if something bad happens to the old man? Won't our family know? We don't know what he is thinking. That's right. Fortunately, the old man is blessed. If something bad happened to him, what would happen to our family? After listening to them, third brother sneered. I can understand eighth brother's behavior. Otherwise, Grandpa's condition would have worsened by the time we are done discussing. Moreover, Grandpa used the excuse of going to a friend's house to come out voluntarily. Clearly, he did not want the family to know. Since it is his choice, why do you blame it on eighth brother? Moreover, Eighth brother helped to find a specialist. What about you? Are you a Sheng or a member of Zhongting? The Sheng family started to make things difficult for third brother. Don't think that we can't do anything to you, just because you are the CEO of Huang Yao. Hu Ran tugged at Sheng Bowen's sleeve, reminding him not to argue with them. It would not end well. They were very good at turning black and white upside down. All right, Grandpa is not awake yet. Everyone keep quiet, Sheng Kai said to the elders of the Sheng family. Third brother, I think your brother is doing a good job as the CEO of Huang Yao. You should return the position to him. Look at you. You don't have the aura of a person in power at all. All right, I don't mind. It's just that Tiffany and Company will terminate the cooperation soon. Second brother just needs to fill in the loophole, Sheng Bowen replied calmly. The other party glanced at Sheng Kai and choked. Don't try to show off here. Grandpa's health is more important, Sheng Kai reminded Sheng Bowen. Third brother did not say anything. He understood Hu Ran's gaze. The hospital does not need so many people. You should go back first. When Grandpa wakes up, I will tell you. Third brother, aren't you busy at the company? Sheng Kai's meaning was self-evident. He wanted to stay here to take care of Grandpa Sheng. The others could leave. Then, I will have to trouble second brother to be filial to us. Having said that, third brother left with Hu Ran. If they stayed until Grandpa Sheng woke up, he would definitely make a scene again. Third brother, you must take care of the family well. Otherwise, when Grandpa wakes up, he will continue to be tortured and destroyed by these people, especially second brother and his wife. They are so good at stirring up trouble. It will not be good for Grandpa's recovery. Grandpa is very conscious. Otherwise, he would not come to the hospital for the surgery without telling anyone. That you're tuning in to the Li Mei's Sword of Destiny YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support. And don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.